All week, the city of Mobile, Alabama has served as a bridge from college stardom to opportunity. Only the best seniors step inside and prove they belong in the NFL.
And showcase what we're all out there, throw away, move on. See what you hit. Oh, great job.
Push through the guy. Don't let him stop you.
Come on, run, guys, run, guys, run, guys.
Get there. Get up. Thank you. So everything you do stems from a line.
I'm going to see if I taught you anything in your brain.
Finish.
Always concentrate on front hand pressure.
Good job.
Nice job.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to the Reese's Senior Bowl here in Mobile, Alabama, and there is a very good reason this event returns for the 64th consecutive year to Mobile. The community embraces this event. They know the tradition, and they know the very best college football seniors have a chance to say all that college stardom is going to lead to a great opportunity in the National Football League. And of course, it's game day, tailgating outside, step on inside, clear, blue skies, a perfect opportunity for 100 of the best seniors to step up and say, draft me, and oh, by the way, draft me high come draft weekend in May. Welcome to the broadcast booth. Thank you for being with us. I'm Paul Burmeister. Before we get to the business of football evaluation here this afternoon, our very good friend and colleague Mike Mayock is not with us today. He had a family emergency last night and is unable to join us as he normally does. Now, we all know how much Mike loves and admires and respects this week and also this game. We'll all do our very best to live up to the very high standard he has set for the next 3 hours, and he should know we are thinking of him and his family throughout the afternoon. Looking forward to the next 3 hours of evaluation alongside my guys Charles Davis and also former NFL scout Daniel Jeremiah. We've had great quarterback play here the last 4 years. In fact, 4 consecutive years the Senior Bowl has provided at least one first-round quarterback. Seems like the guy with the best chance to carry on that tradition is Derek Carr.
And Paul, when you throw for over 5,000 yards in a college season, 50 touchdown pass, only 8 interceptions, you would think that would automatically lock you into the first round. But the process, as we know, and the evaluation is exacting. And Derek Carr had a lot of question marks coming into this. Did he have the arm to drive the ball downfield? I thought he showed that this week. Cut through the wind on a particularly brutal day in the middle of this week. Could he get under center? How was he on the chalkboard with the coaches? I think he answered checks and everything. I think he's clearly been the best quarterback here this week. He'll have a
the best offensive lineman here last year, Eric Fisher, vaulted all the way up to #1 in the NFL draft. Who was the top pass protector this year?
Well, remember Eric Fisher last year coming into this was probably ranked in the 20s in the first round, which is still a good draft spot, but by the time he left, the #1 pick in the draft. Could Zach Martin from Notre Dame be that guy this year? Has he now staked a claim to maybe being the best tackle off the board? He had that kind of a week, which was a carryover from the season he had. Pass rushers from Oklahoma, BYU, Arizona State, Stanford, all stoned by Zach Martin throughout the year. Plus, he showed his versatility. He can kick inside the guard, and many people in the league believe that he could be a top-notch center, too. He may very well be the first tackle off the board.
Other side of the football, the most decorated defender coming into this week out of Pittsburgh, Aaron Donald. And it's not every time that a player's play lives up to what he accomplished in college. Aaron Donald had a fantastic week.
Yeah, Paul, he brought it every single day this week in practice. He was the most dominating defensive player. It started from day one when he picked out Sénior Richardson, the humongous guard from Baylor, in the one-on-one period. First 2 reps, he beats him with quickness on the first one. Then he flatbacks him with power on the second rep. And he took that momentum, carried it over to the team portion of practice, was very disruptive versus both the run and pass guys. He every bit lived up to the high billing he had coming into this week.
We expected Aaron Donald to be pretty good based off of what he accomplished at Pittsburgh. D Ford kind of surprised us and became a big name this week.
Now we talk about Aaron Donald dominating from the inside. Dee Ford was the most outstanding edge defender this week in practice. His burst and get off as a pass rusher just look different than everybody else when you watch the drills and you watch the one-on-ones. He can win outside with speed, he can flatten to the quarterback, and even flash a little bit of power as a pass rusher. Also as a run defender, there were a lot of questions about him. I thought this week he held up just fine in that department, guys. I went to the national championship game. He played a fantastic game against Florida State. He's got one more game to play. Can he continue to build on the momentum he has going right now?
Over the next 10 weeks, all these top seniors will have plenty of chances to impress at the combine and at pro days. Only one more time can they put on the pads and play football. You can watch the Senior Bowl right along with us after this.
We were born to make, mold, shape, build incredible things. Coursing through our veins, the urge to make something from nothing. Trust in every cut. Build a legacy with each pass. And find there is nothing you can't create. Go ahead and inspire the rest of us. We all are and always will be made to make. Sign up for Craftsman Club now for great deals every day.
There is no substitute for experience, for what reality teaches you firsthand, in the face of danger and under the most demanding circumstances. Experience builds character. Experience builds confidence. And experience has built this. Introducing the 2014 GLK, the engineering and the experience of Mercedes-Benz. See your authorized dealer for exceptional offers through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services.
DiGiorno or delivery? DiGiorno or delivery? Taste for yourself why the shortest distance between you and a delicious fresh baked pizza is your oven. Thankfully, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. Fruit with a cool finish. Fruit on one side, cool on the other. Icebreakers Duo, a fruity cool way to break the ice.
In a split second, a nobody can get the attention of everybody. NFL hopefuls are on the clock, and NFL Network is with them every second of the way. The Scouting Combine, live starting February 22nd, only on NFL Network.
Welcome back to the Reese's Senior Bowl. We are approaching kickoff, and it was a little cold. It was a little windy all week, but this is perfect football weather. Mid-50s, the wind not going to be too much of a factor. We can watch those quarterbacks spin the ball, and it's supposed to remain this way throughout the Senior Bowl, the 64th time in a row. We've had it right here in Mobile, inside Lad People's Stadium. Happy to have you along with us. Paul Burmeister, Charles Davis, and Daniel Jeremiah in the booth. And we have head coaches from the National Football League on both sidelines. Leading the North Squad, Mike Smith from the Falcons. And all the enthusiasm we enjoyed all week, you can watch on the sidelines for the South team, Gus Bradley and his Jaguar staff. Cody Parkley out of Auburn kicks it off, and back to return Jeff Janis, a Division II All-American receiver out of Saginaw Valley State, and he goes down at the 15-yard line. Taj Boyd, last time you saw him, he was outstanding, accounting for over 500 yards of total offense and 6 touchdowns in leading Clemson to that Orange Bowl victory over Ohio State. Now the former ACC Player of the Year and the all-time leader in that conference in touchdown passes, trying to prove that he is worth a high draft pick. Of course, the question, how high should that pick be?
I think he came into this week, guys, is in kind of that third-round area. I thought up and down week. We'll see what he does now, even help himself out.
And right to the ground, this is Charles Sims out of West Virginia. And what an interesting resume he has, Charles. I don't think I've said this in all the years we've been doing this game. His freshman year, he's the Conference USA Freshman of the Year. This past season at West Virginia, the Big 12 Newcomer of the Year.
Hey, you don't get that transfer very often, do you, where you're the Newcomer of the Year twice? You know, I mean, in different conferences as he went. Remember, he spent all his time at Houston, graduated, had another year of eligibility, and chose to use it at West Virginia because as a graduate, you're allowed to transfer without penalty. And West Virginia was glad to have him, a 1,000-yard rusher in his only season with the Mountaineers.
Taj Boyd to the air for the first time. That ball tipped in the air. And there are questions, and that was a nice job tipping that ball into the air out of the SEC from Arkansas, Chris Smith. Questions about his height. What he measured, about 6'1" this week?
Yeah, just a hair, just a tick under 6'1". That was the concern, but he was actually taller than people anticipated. That looked like Hubbard. Was that Hubbard there?
No, that was Chris Smith from Arkansas. And what happened was he was rushing against Seantrell Henderson from Miami, and you know how huge Henderson is. And a well-taught defensive lineman, once you can't make progress back towards the quarterback, get your hand up in the passing lanes. Maybe you can affect the play. Chris Smith did exactly that.
3rd down and 8. Taj Boyd moves back to the shotgun. And just gets rid of it quickly out of Wisconsin. Wouldn't really be a draft evaluation unless there was a Wisconsin tailback to discuss. That's James White. Penalty marker down. Roughing the passer, so the first drive of the North squad will continue. Our referee here this afternoon is Scott Novak.
So Taj Boyd gets a chance to run another series, and Daniel and Paul, I think the issues have really come in for Taj Boyd this week, being under center. Did not have to do a ton of that while at Clemson, and while handling the snap really wasn't a problem for him, the getaway on running plays, footwork at times was a little bit hesitant that way. Those are the things that he's got to continue to learn and try and clean up.
Incredibly accomplished at Clemson, started 40 games and won 80%, going 32 and 8, and looking to come underneath, and that was to Jeff Janis. You saw him return the opening kickoff, and again, something I've never said here at the Senior Bowl, we have a 2-time Great Lakes Athletic Conference Player of the Year.
And Janis had really kind of an up and down week. There was some more drops that we saw during the week. You want to come into a game, you want to see him make some plays out here. On the kickoff return, don't get much. We have a drop early in the game. Not a great start for Janis.
And the North squad lost a number of receivers. Terry Robisky, the receivers coach for the Falcons, told me that as every receiver left, Jeff Janis would come to him and say, "I'm sorry he had to go, but coach, I can take his place."
I can play for all of them. Led Division II this past fall with over 1,600 receiving yards. He had over 1,500 the season before. And there is Sims out of West Virginia around the left side. First team All Big 12 after leading the conference with nearly 1,500 yards from scrimmage during the fall. Gets 8 right there.
And Sims, I thought, guys, kind of differentiated himself from the group of running backs this week. I thought he was the top guy here. Did well in the pass protection stuff and has a little juice, as you saw right there, to get to the corner.
Yeah, I think a lot of people saw him, guys, as a 3rd down back coming into this week. Do you think maybe he differentiated himself and made himself a little bit more than that, than that thinking?
No, I think he did. I think he helped himself as much as anybody out here.
Good job catching the ball last year, too, with 45 catches. And Taj Boyd looking deep, left that one up a little bit too long. And there to pick it off, Greg Loston out of the LSU. Ball comes out. I believe he's going to be ruled down.
Ron had the double move, guys. Had a corner beat, but you got to put that ball on a line. Taj Boyd, way too much air on that football, giving Loston time to get over the top and make the play.
So on a line, and you want the ball more out this way, don't you, Daniel?
Absolutely.
You don't want it backed in towards the middle. See, if he takes that ball and puts it from the numbers to the sideline on a line, he's got a better opportunity for his receiver. But on the numbers inside, looped a little bit, brings the safety into the play. Lofton capitalizes with the pick.
All SEC recognition in both his junior and senior seasons, and the interception here to get the South team started the right way.
The 2014 Senior Bowl is presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter.
Start the engine. And shift through all 8 speeds of a transmission connected to more standard horsepower than its German competitors. And that is the moment driving the Lexus GS will shift your perception. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Pizza Hut wants delivered to the White House. They stiffed us on the tip, but what are you gonna do? But that's nothing, because Pizza Hut just created an all-new blow-your-mind hand-tossed pizza. For a limited time, try one for just $10. We guarantee you'll love it or your next pizza's on us. Pizza Hut, make it great.
Welcome back to the Reese's Senior Bowl. We are just underway here. Don't risk a chance of FOMOF, and that is fear of missing out on football. Watch Super Bowl 48 live on NFL Mobile exclusively from Verizon. Looks pretty good there.
FOMOF.
Yes.
I learned a new term every time I come up here.
Fear of missing out on football.
Well, that will scare you a little bit. That's pretty good stuff.
Greg Lawson out of LSU came up with the interception on the North team's first drive, picking off Taj Boyd. And now we get our first look at the South offense. And leading the way is going to be the quarterback that had the most well-known coming into this week. And all the evaluators telling us, and what we also saw with our own eyes during practice, the most impressive quarterback here, Derek Carr. Number 1 in the nation in passing yards, over 5,000 this past season. Also number 1 in touchdown passes with 50. Now looking to prove he's worth a first-round pick. And at running back, Lorenzo Talafero out of Coastal Carolina, after rushing for over 1,700 yards this past fall, picks up a first down with his first carry of the game.
Charles, this is your guy from the week of practice, Talafero. In the pass protection drills, he was outstanding, kind of made a name for himself.
He was terrific, and he had come into this season with a number of question marks about injuries. You know, he'd been dinged a few times, ankles, the whole deal. Guy puts up, as Paul just mentioned, over 1,700 yards, leads Coastal Carolina into the 1AA playoffs, and I thought had a very nice week here at the Senior Bowl.
Derek Carr to the air for the first time, and completes number 83, Kevin Norwood out of Alabama, who led the Crimson Tide with 7 touchdown receptions this season. That's good for a gain of 5.
And you hear that little extra roar from the Alabama crowd for Kevin Norwood. Now, guys, before we get too deep in this drive, you know what happens in this thing, right? Parents, families watch, okay? Listen to us all week. I'm going to tell you what happened to me when we got to the stadium. If nothing big happens on this play, then I know you guys have sympathy for me.
We noticed you did come over before DJ and I did. Talafero off the left side and brought down at the 30-yard line.
That's Chris Borland right there, guys. I mean, that's what he does, sift and sort through blocks.
And tackle everyone.
Exactly, find the football.
Chris Borland, 112 tackles this year.
Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. You talk to any Big Ten coach, you say, is he as good as his numbers would tell you? Yes. They say, yes, we are happy he is out of the league.
So the guy from North Dakota State, the right tackle, Billy Turner, his grandfather grabbed me when I got to the stadium today. Said, look, man, I like the work you do, but you didn't say a word about my grandson all week long. So, Mr. Johnson, Billy Turner, right tackle, North Dakota State, like him a lot.
There you go. It's always nice to know people are watching. Norwood again, this time for a first down inside the 20. Tackled by Ahmad Dixon out of Baylor. Well, that is another South team first down, a gain of 13.
This looks like the Fresno offense here, Charles. Catch and throw, man.
And he's catching it and throwing it well. Look at that. Gets it out over the arms. Look at that. Michael Sam, number 55, was the rusher from Missouri. Able to get it through his arms or over the top of and put it right on Norwood. Another nice size receiver. And what I liked about Norwood, when he caught the ball, he got immediately upfield. Not a lot of dancing, not a lot of juking. Catch the ball, get upfield, get what you can. Nicely executed play.
First down and 10 again for Carr from the shotgun. Nice pocket to step into, and Crockett Gilmore out of Colorado State into the end zone. Our first touchdown of the afternoon.
Yeah! Crockett Gilmore, guys, he got the battlefield promotion to the Senior Bowl and delivered with a solid week of practice. And now look at it, right early in the game, showing he belongs on this football field. How about him pulling up the sideline here, Charles?
And how about the pocket here that's created for David Carr? Derek Carr. Look at that. Plenty of time to throw, clean sight lines, and then as you talked about, Daniel, Crockett Gilmore, Mr. Battlefield promotion, comes on a little shallow cross route, catches the ball, and beats everyone to the end zone.
Cody Parkey up and in with the extra point, and Crockett Gilmore 8 touchdowns as a Colorado State Ram, earned him first team All Mountain West Conference. A catch and a sprint to the end zone. He has our first touchdown of the day.
we get a little help?
Focus, fellas.
We've got Pepsi.
What if we just take like 15 minutes?
Halfway through the game?
They got Pepsi. So what do we call that?
Halftime.
I like that.
Even the first halftime wasn't halftime without Pepsi. This halftime, catch Bruno Mars live. Brought to you by who else? Pepsi.
Welcome back. How was everything?
There's nothing like being your own boss. And my customers are really liking our flat rate shipping.
FedEx One Rate.
Really makes my life easier.
Maybe a promotion is in order.
Good news. I got a new title.
And a raise?
Management couldn't make that happen.
Introducing FedEx One Rate. Simple flat rate shipping with the reliability of FedEx.
Who are we? We are the thinkers, the job jugglers, the up-all-nighters, and the ones who turn ideas into action. We've made our passions our life's work. We strive for the moments where we can say, I did it. We are entrepreneurs who started it all with a signature. LegalZoom has helped start over 1 million businesses, turning dreamers into business owners. And we're here to help start yours.
Coming up tonight on NFL Total Access, our minds are sort of in two places at once.
Yeah, here and home.
No, Alabama for the Senior Bowl and New Jersey for the Super Bowl.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern.
Welcome back to the 2014 Reese's Senior Bowl. Coming up on Wednesday, our football life going to focus on Jerry Rice, the most prolific wide receiver in NFL history. His relentless drive to be the best made him the greatest of all time. A football life, Jerry Rice, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, only right here on NFL Network. There's a man who played tight end, defensive end, and tight end at Colorado State. Crockett Gilmore, 17-yard touchdown reception from Derek Carr, who was 3 for 3 on that drive, by the way. And it's 7-0 South team.
And a little more of the traditional tight end, isn't he, Daniel?
Yeah,
much more
absolutely.
of that traditional, what we call the wide position, in line, on the line blocker. Also can get downfield and catch the football, as we just saw, but I think his strength right now still lies in blocking people.
Yeah, Colorado State ran the football very well this year, and one of the reasons is because 2 of their players are here at the Senior Bowl, Crockett Gilmore and my man Weston Richburg. The center gives some love to as the game goes along.
I knew he was going to come up in the first quarter somehow. Charles Sims out of West Virginia, a couple of good runs on the first drive before Craig Austin had the interception of Taj Boyd, gets it out to the 20-yard line. And so Taj Boyd going to come back in and see how he responds to that first interception, the first turnover of the game.
And guys, they practice a little bit of zone read stuff during the week. I wouldn't be surprised to see them let him run the ball a little bit, get that first hit, get rid of some of these jitters, and see if Taj Boyd can't find a rhythm.
And his tailback is James White out of Wisconsin, 1,000 yards as a freshman, and then also over 1,000 yards this past season. And there's White on the screen pass, and he doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well played in the defensive line by the South.
And out of Louisiana Tech, that is Ick Enapoli.
Very
nice work.
Well
Ick Enapoli.
And you notice none of us dove in on that until you got
watching me.
I'll be calling him double nines for the rest of the night.
I don't know if it's just me, guys. Tell me if I'm wrong, but so far in this game, the South defense is extremely quick to the football. Wherever it goes, those guys are right there and putting in contact as soon as the ball's caught.
Here's White off the right side, looking to turn the corner, turns it back up and gets out to the 27-yard line. Brought down by Jordan Tripp, outside linebacker from Montana. White got 7.
Most success they've had so far is running the football. Left side, right side. The rest of the pass plays have been very difficult for them.
Chantrell Henderson, the left tackle there from Miami, missed his block, didn't end up costing him there. This is a big opportunity for him. He's somebody teams are very split on. He has had some off-the-field issues, guys. But when you look at the size and the athleticism that he has, he's a very intriguing player.
Kind of looks like Phil Lodeholt's in here about 3 or 4 years ago. See if he turns out to be that kind of a pro. 3rd down and 3 for Taj Boyd. And all 3 times, James White touches the football. Didn't pick up a first down yet, though. And he's brought down by, out of Florida State, Telvin Smith. Only gets 1 yard.
Really nice reaction by Telvin Smith, the outside linebacker. He sees the play into the flat and runs it down quickly. You know, one last time, guys, this South defense reacting very quickly to the ball when it's in the air.
Telvin Smith's somebody that people don't know. Is he a safety? Is he a linebacker? He's only 218 pounds. He's got a very narrow frame. But when you pop on the Florida State tape, all this guy does is buzz around sideline to sideline and make every tackle. In the national championship game, he had 15 stops against Auburn.
Only 1 season as a starter. And this is Kirby Vanderkamp out of Iowa State, back to receive Jalen Saunders from Oklahoma. And Saunders quickly out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. 49-yard punts. Crockett Gilmore has a touchdown reception from Derek Carr. The South team will be back on the field with a 7-0 lead right after this.
Jolly Rancher and Twizzlers Bites are so soft, chewy, and filled with their fruity selves. They think this world isn't big enough for the both of them. But we assure you, it is. Bites, little greatness.
Golden Corral is the best deal in America.
You can't beat the price, or the food, or the Triple Fountain Yum.
For one low price, it's everything you love at Golden Corral, including the incomparable Triple Fountain Yum. Only at Golden Corral.
Best deal in America.
Period.
The M&M Super Bowl Special.
This is going to be fun.
Marshall Faulk and Michael Irvin discuss the hottest topics leading up to the big game.
They did a good job against Crabtree, but Demarius is a beast.
The M&M Super Bowl Special, Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network.
Together, we make the game safer from the ground up. By making sure the fit of the equipment is every bit as good as the equipment. By making proper tackling the goal from the very first snap. And by making certification more important than any win-loss record. We make the game safer because to us, it's so much more than just a game. Make sure your coach is heads-up certified today. Go to usafootball.com. Together, we make football.
Seahawks fans, your team just won the NFC Championship. And now, direct from NFLshop.com, you can own the Seahawks Championship trophy tee and trophy hat. It's the official championship hat and t-shirt worn by players and coaches during the post-game celebration. Don't miss out on this great opportunity. Show your championship pride and own a piece of Seahawks history by visiting NFLshop.com now.
Together, we make the NFL Ticket Exchange, the only place to buy and sell verified, authentic NFL tickets, which means we make sure your name is on your ticket.
Enjoy the game, Gary.
Guaranteeing the day belongs to you. We make memories guaranteed, with your name written all over them. NFL Ticket Exchange. Together, we make football.
This is the original Oyster House here in Mobile. Of course, we come down to watch all the top seniors and interact with the NFL evaluators, but we know we're going to eat well at night. Are you guys oyster guys?
Someone's taking me there tonight. I don't know who it is.
Charles is perked up.
But someone's taking me there tonight.
I think that ought to be DJ. All in the flea flicker, back to Derek Carr. Looking deep for Kevin Norwood out of Alabama. And it looked like Norwood didn't trust that Carr was going to be able to throw it that far. He started to come back, and Carr had plenty of arm.
Eased up a little bit. I mean, the interesting thing is A.J. McCarron's not in this game. That's his quarterback. Maybe A.J. underthrows that a little bit. That's what Norwood was thinking. Carr doesn't have that problem. He put that thing way out there.
He certainly did. And when he threw it, my first thought was the timing of the play was a little bit off. Maybe he shouldn't try and throw it that deep. But Paul, you had the right observation. Kevin Norwood cut the route a little bit short, started to come across the field, then realized the ball was over his head and tried to flatten back out again. It was a little bit too late.
That's Carr's first incompletion. He's now 3 for 4 and has the touchdown pass to Crockett Gilmore. Out of the backfield to Lynch, first team All-SEC. As a tight end this past season was Arthur Lynch. Brought down by Dayon Buchanan, one of these big safeties we've been talking about all season. That was a gain of 1.
And we've got a bunch of them here at this game. All these hammers will come up and hit you, but many of them have good ball skills too that they're trying to demonstrate in a game like this. But I've got to ask real quick, DJ, as a scout, when Derek Carr comes in and you see all the dink and dunk throws he threw at Fresno State, does a throw like that grab your attention?
Yeah, it's nice to see him get to uncork one and drive it down the field. He has plenty of arm. That's not an issue.
And he showed that all week in practice, correct?
Absolutely.
Carr setting up the screen. Crockett Gilmore already with a touchdown pass. Cut down at the 38-yard line. And doing the honors, the first-team All-American, Trent Murphy out of Stanford.
And Trent Murphy, you know, there was mixed opinion on how he did this week, guys. He's a stand-up outside linebacker at Stanford. Had to put his hand in the ground this week, which was new for him to be a full-time defensive end. So some up and down moments, but you look at it right there. The lights come on, the game starts, and Trent Murphy's making plays. What do you know, CD?
And what I think about him in particular is that he's one of those relentless guys that will accumulate statistics and plays because he doesn't give up on anything.
Cody Mandel punting to Mike Campanaro out of Wake Forest. He reminded us to tell everyone it's his birthday today. And the birthday boy makes it out to the 23-yard line. Was he turning 23 or 22?
23 today. Happy birthday, Mike Campanaro.
23 and a 23. Who knew?
Do I have to take him out to dinner, too?
Under Armour's job is to make athletes better, to help Jordan Spieth compete for championships, and to make Lindsey Vonn faster than ever before. Under Armour can make tight feel nice, make strong look pretty, and help make Lindsey's comeback a reality. But most of all, Under Armour empowers the next athlete to believe that they can do anything.
Up for whatever happens next?
Excuse me for a second.
Yeah. Can you believe this guy? He could be at the Macaroni Grill right now, enjoying course after course of Italian cuisine. Instead, his date is poking around his medicine cabinet.
The four-course chef's tasty menu. Uncork the night.
This is Betsy. Her long day of pickups and drop-offs begins with arthritis pain and a choice. Take up to 6 Tylenol in a day, or just 2 Aleve for all-day relief. All aboard.
On this field, we can be champions today! 360! Here we go! We play for each other! Yeah! That's big time, boy!
We are in Mobile, Alabama at the Reese's Senior Bowl. Pretty soon we'll be in Indianapolis. That's where NFL hopefuls put their draft prospectus or their draft prospects on the line. They're put to the test of the 2014 NFL Scouting Combine. Our live coverage begins Saturday, February 22nd, only on NFL Network. Mike Smith will be there. Gus Bradley will be there. All the National Football League teams will be represented, and we'll bring it all to you live here on NFL Network. New quarterback in the game, Logan Thomas. It's tough to miss him because he's 6'6", 250.
Yeah, size is not a problem when you're talking about Logan Thomas. Arm strength isn't either, guys. It's just a matter of being consistent with the accuracy.
New running back also, David Fluellen out of Toledo, running the football. Two-time first-team All-MAC conference. So when you talk about Logan Thomas, there's a number of things you got to get to. The size, the arm strength that you mentioned, flashes of brilliance, but also some areas on tape that makes you wonder, how high can I draft this guy?
If you can watch one tape and he looks like, you know, top 5 pick in this draft. You watch another one, he looks like a 6th or 7th round pick. Just needs to be more consistent. Now, some people are buying, you know, glass half full, the potential, and other people question whether the light's ever going to totally come on.
Stepping up and showing off that arm for the first time. Little contact. And we have a penalty marker down on the 19-yard line. Our referee this afternoon, Scott Novak.
Holding, offense, number 74, 10-yard penalty, second out.
Number 74, Jack Uhort, tackle out of Ohio State. So, DJ, if you were in a draft room as a scout, you did it for 8 seasons, and they said, should we use a pick on Logan Thomas or just try and get him later?
Well, the coffee in the 1st and 2nd and maybe even 3rd round's a little rich for me, but when you start talking about that 4th, 5th round area where you have some time to develop a player, salt him away for a couple years on the practice field and see what you got, then I can endorse it. But I mean, some people, there's teams out there that think this guy's going to go in the 2nd round just solely off of his tools.
Yeah, I think this is where a Colin Kaepernick helps him. Size, ability to move, you know, came into this game.
also comes in with nice experience, Charles, starting 40 consecutive games to end his career there at Virginia Tech. And Mike Campanaro, the birthday boy, hauls that one in for a gain of 3.
And to finish my thought, he came into this game similar to Kaepernick, where many people had question marks about him. Do I like his accuracy? Do I like this? Am I a little worried about that? With Kaepernick going in the second round and developing fairly quickly in San Francisco, many will look at Logan Thomas, and you know coaches, hey, give him to me. I'll get him straight, and then we'll really have it, Jim. So there'll be some serious arguments in draft rooms across the board in the NFL about Logan Thomas.
That's D Ford getting off the ball right there. He did that all week, guys.
D Ford making the play you saw all week on this field. He steps up, comes up with the first sack of the day. D Ford out of Auburn for a loss of 8.
He darn near beat the snap, guys. Daniel caught it as soon as, we were all sitting here watching. There's Ford, look at that. Look how quick he was off the ball. As Daniel described, working against Jack Muhort, who was a third-team All-American, first-team All-Big Ten as a left tackle, adjusting to life on the right side. Life is a lot tougher to adjust to when D Ford is pass rushing against you.
And there's a lot of teams in the SEC that saw that right there from D Ford. When you watch the tape, that's what he beat you with. That quickness and that initial burst. It was the best in the game all week, and it showed up here early today.
Chris Davis, you remember him from returning the missed field goal against Alabama for the amazing Auburn victory, and then was also involved on the game-deciding play at the BCS title game. So you know that man if you paid attention to college football the last month of the season. 4:11 left in the first quarter. The South team leads 7-0.
Napa know-how.
Oh, yeah.
Napa Legend batteries are built to last and loaded with power.
Nice.
Come on, Pete. Hook me up.
What?
Hook me up.
That was a one-time thing. You said we weren't.
Hook me up, man. Come on. Come on.
Last time.
Come on. Yeah. Oh, okay, get it up! Insist on Napa Legend batteries.
Today we're gonna play a little game. Which 4G LTE map has the most coverage?
This isn't real difficult.
Pretty obvious to me.
I'm gonna have to say Verizon.
Verizon.
That's right! Wow.
The choice is obvious. Verizon's superfast 4G LTE network is over 3 times larger than any other 4G LTE network. Now get $100, $200, or even $300 off a new smartphone, depending on the smartphone you trade in, on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. That's powerful. Verizon. Now get a free LG G2 with a 13-megapixel camera.
Golden Corral is the best deal in America.
You can't beat the price, or the food, or the triple fountain yum.
For one low price, it's everything you love at Golden Corral, including the incomparable triple fountain yum. Only at Golden Corral.
Best deal in America.
Period.
New quarterback in the game for the South squad, the Walter Payton Award winner out of Eastern Illinois. Also the MVP of the East-West Shrine game, Jimmy Garoppolo. And as soon as A.J. McCarron out of Alabama let it be known that he was not going to play in this game, it was kind of a tryout. East-West Shrine week throughout the practice and also in the game. The best quarterback was going to get the invite to come here, and that man turned out to be Jimmy Garoppolo. He was fantastic this last fall. He was enticing last week at the East-West Shrine game. And here he is, first down and 10 at the 48, going to the air right away. Athletic throw to his left, can't throw it any better. And catching the ball the third time is Mike Davis. And that was a nice little snapshot of Jimmy Garoppolo. Got the shoulders around, through a strike, 12-yard gain.
And Garoppolo, guys, this is the momentum he's just carrying right over from the east-west. And you love the footwork he has in the pocket, but also the ability to get outside, square his shoulders, and deliver the ball accurately. And this is one of those big corners, Jean-Baptiste, we watched all week. It's tough for those guys to gear down, get out of your break, and come back downhill. That's a challenge for some of these bigger corners.
Mike Davis fortunate to create separation before the initial hit.
Antonio Andrews trying to get around the right side. There's Christian Kirksey out of Iowa coming up with the tackle. And I talked to Kirk Ferentz yesterday, and Kirk isn't one of these coaches who will rave about one of his players just because he played there. He went on for quite a while, not only about the production, but the kind of person he is, the kind of leader he turned into. And Kirk coached in the NFL for Bill Belichick. He doesn't hand out these kind of compliments easily. He said whatever coach gets him will love having him inside his locker room.
Glad you had that conversation with you. Remember during the week, we jumped on the fact that Christian Kirksey was winning most of his one-on-ones in the pass rushing drills. Yeah, I think he's had a very nice week, been an overlooked guy, a little bit underrated, but I think today he's due for a big one.
Offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Kirksey He's starting the final 38 games of his career at Iowa.
Penalty on Matt Patchen, who came in midweek, an offensive tackle from Boston College, who began his career as a defensive lineman at the University of Florida, switched over to offense, and finished his career at Boston College.
Penalty brings up 2nd down and 16 for Garoppolo. Play action again to Davis, the leading receiver for the Longhorns this past season. Mike Davis brought down by Dayon Buchanan out of Washington State. That's a gain of 5. We talked about Buchanan, I think the first conversation we had in the practice shows on Monday about the kind of production he had at Washington State, where the last 2 seasons over 200 total tackles and also 10 interceptions.
He's a guy, when you watch him on tape, now he has some monster shots, filling the alley, some huge hits, had a huge hit against Auburn in the state of Alabama earlier this year. The question is in the back end, is he fluid enough? Is he athletic enough to be able to range off the hash? But coming up and run support and closing and hitting people, he's not too bad at that, CD.
3rd down and 11, Garoppolo finds Cody Hoffman out of BYU, the all-time leading receiver for BYU. Brought down out of Nebraska, the former wide receiver, now very promising corner. He's only played that position the last 3 years.
And that's a nice play by Stanley Jean-Baptiste. That play he had in front of him. He wasn't going away from the play, backpedaling, turning and coming back. Play in front of him, read it, closed on the receiver, and made the tackle. And if you want to see a good tape on Dayon Buchanan, turn on the USC game from this year. You just get to see a little bit of everything in that one.
Cody Parkey from 50 yards out, not much wind here. Good conditions to knock one through. And without a doubt, that would have been good from 60.
Good job, man.
Cody Parkey puts 3 points on the board, and the South team has a field goal. It also has a Crockett Gilmore touchdown reception, and it's 10-0. Gus Bradley all smiles on that sideline.
Great job.
We've had a lot of greats play in this game, like Pittsburgh Steeler quarterback and Reese's Senior Bowl alumnus Terry Bradshaw in the NFL Hall of Fame. 4 Super Bowl titles later. He played in this game back in 1970, and he remembers talking to his head coach, Don Shula, during Senior Bowl week.
When I went to the Senior Bowl, I went upstairs and knocked on Don Shula's door. Coach Shula came there and said, "Hey, Terry, how you doing?" I said, "Coach, I just want to know, are you going to give me a chance to compete at quarterback?" "What, are you crazy? You're going to play the whole game unless you don't want to play the whole game." And I said, "Oh, no, I want to play." Ended up being the MVP in the football game. Broke 2 ribs, but it was the best pain I ever had.
MVP with 2 broken ribs, and if he indeed play that much, I'm sure his backup quarterbacks were none too happy.
And that's the thing. You took the same thing out, but I think DJ was feeling the same. As soon as you heard that, you're going to play the whole game. And I thought, boy, have times changed, because now if you don't get everyone in the game for a chance at evaluation, you got thunder coming down on you. Not just families, you got agents, you got everyone say, "Hold a second, how come my guy didn't get to play?" Yeah, Terry, you're going to come and play the whole game. I don't know who the backup is, but you're going to have a nice day with a cape around your shoulder.
Did they have Gatorade back then? Because that's pretty much all those guys did.
That's all they were doing. It was right about the time the Gatorade was starting to come into vogue.
I knew you'd know that.
Cody Parkey with a 50-yard field goal. He kicks it off to Jeff Janis. He takes a knee, and we'll see if the North team can get going here offensively. The South squad, they produced a turnover. Lawston out of LSU had a pick. Crockett Gilmore has a touchdown reception, and Parkey has a 50-yard field goal. And now we'll see the second series for Logan Thomas.
And I know we focus a lot on offense. I want to see if Will Sutton, the defensive tackle from Arizona State on the South team, makes some plays today. Because we've seen the flashes of potential 2 years ago, almost unblockable. Last year, he gained a lot of extra weight. Didn't seem to be the same explosive play.
Charles Sims out of West Virginia has the ball going nowhere, and it's almost as if Will Sutton heard his name called from the booth.
Thank you, Will Sutton. Watch him right here, the big guy from Arizona State. Look at him working against Michael Schofield from Michigan. Beats him upfield on his upfield shoulder and does it quick enough that he got all the way to where the handoff was and made the play in the backfield. Well done, Will Sutton.
Timing could. That was perfect. Logan Thomas, like he had eyes in the back of his head, but he goes down. Credit that sack to Pierre. Pardon me, D4, his second sack of the afternoon.
You know they're going to hand us an MVP. From the top side, folks. Sport on the pass rush. Daniel, that's the same get-off you talked about on the last time.
These offensive tackles, guys, if you get beat by a counter move, that's our fault. But you got to cut off the speed rusher. He's going to hit Logan Thomas on every play.
D Ford, 2 sacks in the BCS title game and 2 sacks already today. The screen to Charles Sims, and look at this South defense. Stepping up that time is Telvin Smith, outside linebacker from Florida State.
And we've seen some guys. D Ford, we saw the same guy we saw all week.
Defense number 30, 5-yard penalty.
Well, that's the get off. That helps a little bit when you're offsides. They got him on that one. But when we've seen all week D Ford make plays, Telvin Smith, the range and the instincts, we're seeing these things carry over to the game. Will Sutton, though, that's one who had kind of an up and down week. That's a big play for him earlier, Charles, and he does it while wearing what looks like a bowling ball as a helmet. That's the weirdest helmet I've ever seen.
And if you were with us all week, you heard D Ford's name Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and showing up big time here with 2 sacks already. Logan Thomas off the 3 steps. There he shows you a little bit of that arm strength. Gain out to the 20-yard line. That's Gator Hoskins, tight end out of Marshall. Is there a better name than Gator Hoskins in this game?
No, his real name is Harold, but he's from Gainesville, Florida. We prefer, so he goes with Gator.
For Gator. D Ford, 2 sacks. Crockett Gilmore, touchdown reception, and Parkey a 50-yard field goal. 10-0 after the first quarter.
Start engine. Accelerate. Shift. Shift. And shift again. Through all 8 speeds of a transmission connected to more standard horsepower than its German competitors. And that is the moment that driving the Lexus GS will shift your perception. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Receiver in NFL history.
I get chills of knowing how great he was.
Whose relentless drive.
If you didn't live to Jerry's standard, you weren't a 49er.
Made him the greatest of all time.
I had that hunger. If he saw the ball up in the air, he was going to go get it.
He changed the way people played that position.
He's the baddest man to catch a football, bar none.
Jerry Rice of Football Life, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network.
We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, we've had a first-round quarterback in each of the past 4 years. We've also had plenty of quarterbacks here at the Senior Bowl not get drafted in the first round and go on to NFL stardom. Best example, Russell Wilson 2 years ago didn't have big numbers here, but went on to the combine. And the more people got to know him, they got to know the maturity, the smarts might translate pretty well to the National Football League. 2012 preseason, he wins the starting job at Seattle. He's only lost 1 game at home in 2 years. He'll be the starting quarterback opposite Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl. It all started for him right here at the Reese's Senior Bowl. 1 quarter in the books, 10-0 South team.
I think he's another example of the willingness of the National Football League now to embrace more at that position. Meaning in before, if you didn't fit into the cookie cutter slot of what they thought a quarterback was and should look like and how you should play, then they didn't want you. Now they're willing to embrace the strengths of these guys and actually play to them. In the past, they didn't do that. Solomon Patton out of Florida into the North Team territory. It'll be 1st and 10 South squad from the 47-yard line already with a 10-0 lead.
And welcome back to the broadcast booth. Paul Burmeister alongside Charles Davis and Daniel Jeremiah. I see a 0 on the scoreboard, so someone's playing some pretty good defense around here.
Now, I think what we're getting is the South team, and we noted it early in the game, they're so quick to the football that it's very hard to run your offense if you're the North team. It's disruptive. And our great researcher, Bill Smith, said something to me on the break where he said, don't forget who's playing on the South team. All those great SEC defenders. Florida State just won the national championship. And oh, by the way, Will Sutton, 2-time Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year and 2-time All-American. We got plenty of talent over there.
And the guy you talked about, top of the broadcast, D. Ford, a couple of sacks already, DJ.
Yeah, you talk about his ability to just get off the line of scrimmage is something we all knew about coming into the game, but maybe that message didn't get translated over to the offensive tackles on the North, because he's got off the line of scrimmage clean several times today.
I just think that the speed that they come with, look at that big hit right there that knocked the ball free. I mean, you talk about speed and power when they get there. You talk about both sides now, North and South. We just saw that evident there by the North defense.
In a tailback, Jarek McKinnon. The quarterback is Garoppolo. Crockett Gilmore with a touchdown pass, and now a first down reception. And we got a little glimpse of that last week, DJ, with Jimmy Garoppolo getting rid of the football quickly. There's one more example.
Very quick feet, very quick release, and he's also got a quick mind. You don't hear that term often when you're talking about quarterbacks, but he's able to process very quickly, get from 1 to 2, and even to 3 at times, and his feet always follow his eyes. He throws on balance. He can throw accurately. Doesn't have wow size or wow arm strength, but everything else is pretty good.
Is he a lot like the John Wooden expression that you say, be quick, but don't hurry?
Absolutely.
So his mind and his feet are in sync together. As soon as he decides where it's going, that quick, compact delivery like that right there allows it to go just where he wants it to. And that's a gain of 7. First quarter summary on what you need to know. 10 points for the South team and 0 for the North. The South team pitching a shutout here, led by a couple of sacks by D. Ford. Also an interception from Craig Lawson out of LSU.
Yeah, 2 quarterbacks on that graphic who were perfect in the first quarter. Logan Thomas 2 for 2. Derek Carr 3 for 3. Carr a little more effective because he had a payoff with a touchdown pass to Crockett Gilmore.
First down and 10 from the 37. Pump fake from Garoppolo. Plenty of time. Stands in and just fires that one over the head of Patton out of Florida.
Now, that may be one of the best throws he's made today. I know it sounds crazy, doesn't it? But you know where I'm going, don't you?
Live to fight another down.
Right? Got rid of the football when you realized what they were trying to do was show the hitch route and sneak someone deeper. Okay? Fake the hitch, throw the ball downfield. Both were covered. So he fakes the hitch, looks deep, doesn't have it, comes back to the hitch, which is now officially not open, gets rid of it so that he doesn't take a sack.
Garoppolo got his senior season started so well, 361 yards passing in a win over San Diego State. Kind of serving notice that he was going to step up in a big way his last season. That was Jarek McKinnon out of Georgia Southern.
Trying to see if they threw a flag there, Paul, and I believe they did, because Jonathan Brown on the tackle, first thing I thought was horse collar.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle on the defense, number 46. 15-yard penalty, first down.
The ball had been kicked out wide on the run by the defense. Marcus Smith, number 90, forced the play wider. And then Jonathan Brown with the horse collar there on Jarek McKinnon for the penalty.
Jonathan Brown led the Big Ten in tackles for much of the season and ended up with 119. A completion and a 15-yard penalty later, and Garoppolo has the South team moving again. First down and 10 from the 24. McKinnon toss sweep right side. And he's brought down by Marqueston Huff out of Wyoming, played cornerback and safety for the Cowboys, and picks up 3 there.
Talked to someone who has great Wyoming ties. Guy used to play there, and he follows the Cowboys religiously. He's the head football coach back at Windermere Prep, coaches my kid back there, Jacob Dallas. I said, hey, what do you know about Marqueston Huff? And he said, one of the best all-around athletes that we've ever had come out of Wyoming. That's why they swung him over to corner his senior year. I mean, he had been playing corner, swung him to safety, had 127 tackles his senior year.
Garoppolo to his left. We've seen this once already today. A little high and behind Crockett Gilmore. And coming in to break it up there, Jimmy Ward out of Northern Illinois. What a great 3 seasons he had in the MAC.
This is one of my favorite players that's down here this week, guys. We have a lot of big hitters in the secondary, but Jimmy Ward might be the best cover safety that's here this week. And you look at the instincts, the break, to be able to get underneath him, help cause the incompletion there, guys. But he's somebody that can line up in the slot, can cover wide receivers. Not the biggest safety in the world, but in my opinion, I think he's the best cover safety we have out here today.
And the tackle that he put on Crockett Gilmore is evidence of how guys are playing with the new rules for safety.
Garoppolo to the end zone for the all-time leading receiver at BYU, looking for Cody Hoffman. A little bit too much coverage by Huff out of Wyoming.
And what I mean by that, and you guys cover a lot of football, tell me if I'm way off base here, the safeties and the corners who are having to tackle in the secondary, you know if you're going up high, you're getting the targeting foul and the personal fouls.
71, 64.
So they're now going lower in trying to affect the play. And the receivers are worried about their legs now. He took him really about mid-range, in the back, rather than trying to go up high and hit him.
Cody Parkey from 39 yards out. He's good from 50, and now he's 2 for 2 after knocking that one good from 39 yards out. He has a couple of field goals. Crockett Gilmore has a touchdown reception, and the South team leads by 13.
Jolly Rancher and Twizzlers Bites are so soft, chewy, and filled with their fruity selves. They think this world isn't big enough for the both of them. But we assure you, it is. Bites, little greatness.
We could say a lot about the most track-tested IS ever, but the truth is, we don't have to. The experts have spoken. Now, it's your move.
When I tasted the big juicy steak that's on Applebee's under 550 calories menu, I was all, what the what? Then I tasted the zesty Roma chicken and shrimp, which is also on the under 550 calories menu. And I was like, I can't believe it. Then I told some friends about it, and they couldn't believe how great it tasted either. They were totally, who the, how the, what the, huh? New under 550 calorie Roma pepper steak and zesty Roma chicken and shrimp. 2 almost unbelievably tasty reasons to see tomorrow. Need another reason? Now for a limited time, an under 550 calorie dish is on the 2 for $20 menu.
It's the bigger, better event at Radio Shack. Trade in up to 5 working portable electronics and get at least $25 or more toward an upgrade to a new Fitbit Flex, tablet, Bluetooth speaker, or accessories. Going on now at Radio Shack.
I have the flu. I took medicine, but I still have symptoms.
Truth is, not all flu products treat all your symptoms.
What?
Alka-Seltzer Plus Severe Cold and Flu speeds relief to these 8 symptoms.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Welcome back to the Reese's Senior Bowl. Excellent day here. Perfect weather in the 50s in Mobile. South team on top, 13-0. Reese's Senior Bowl alumnus.
It was one of the best weeks in terms of me developing what Coach Marty Schottenheimer told me. Here at the Senior Bowl, he says, son, if you're going to play cornerback in this league, you're going to have to develop amnesia. That principle of being able to forget a bad play and move it on to the next, it really not only helped me at the NFL level, but also helped me throughout life.
Aeneas Williams, what a fantastic career he had, with an excellent chance to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame as well.
And he would deserve it. What a terrific player. Rams, Arizona Cardinals, Super Bowl with the Rams.
Charles Sims from 5 yards deep takes a knee.
Can I give you guys a scouting pet peeve?
Yes.
Real quick, please. This is an all-star game. We want to see what you can do. If you catch the ball 5 yards deep and
carry it out,
please take it out.
Well, we had that from Jeff Janis on the opening kickoff where he hesitated.
Yeah. And
I was like, oh no, once you hesitate. And then when he brought it out, would he get barely past the 10-yard line? But I'm with you. Catch that bad boy on the go. And in a game like this, you have a lot of guys covering kicks who haven't covered them very much in their college careers.
That's what we want to see. We want to see these guys cover kicks and break down in space and make tackles.
And we're seeing a new quarterback here, and that's Stephen Morris out of Miami, putting it right on Benny Fowler from Michigan State. Incomplete. So Stephen Morris out of Miami, and when your senior season pushes you past legends like Jim Kelly and Bernie Kosar and Vinny Testaverde, you should end up in the Senior Bowl. And now we're going to see how Miami's 3rd all-time leading passer performs today. This is his first series.
And every one of those guys is screaming at the TV right now. If they'd let us throw it as much as these kids throw it nowadays.
Tailback is James White out of Wisconsin. And here's White right up the middle. after 1,000 yards rushing his senior season, actually over 1,400 yards, averaging 6.5 yards per carry. That time only gets 2.
DJ, how'd you like to be a running back at Wisconsin with the talent of a James White who ends up in the Senior Bowl? And your whole career, you're splitting carries with guys like John Clay, Monte Ball, and Melvin Gordon.
Well, the good news is when you go to Wisconsin, you know they're going to run the ball 85 times a game. So, there might be enough for everybody to go around.
I mean, just think, he put up, what would you say, Paul, over 1,400 yards running the football? He was second team All Big Ten. Melvin Gordon, his teammate, was first team All Big Ten.
Right. Past couple of quarterbacks have made it as well. Russell Wilson and Scott Tolzien also in the lead. Stephen Moore's firing out to the right again, looking for Benny Fowler, and that one also incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down and 8.
And I love the thing that we showed on Russell Wilson, and, you know, 3rd round, and makes it. Colin Kaepernick was here with 2nd round, make it. Can we go back to Russell Wilson real quick, because you guys scout? He had 1st round grades on everything except for one thing: height. Am I wrong on that?
No, that's it. And I sat in the draft room. I was with the Eagles at the time, and we had big grades on him. But then the question comes up in the draft room: who does he remind you of? Who is like him that is successful?
And there isn't one. And now
we have a model for it.
Now when we say Johnny Manziel, who does he remind you of? People can throw Russell Wilson.
And Mike Mayock made that point earlier in the week that a portion of the Johnny Manziel signing bonus should be sent to Seattle.
Jalen Saunders doesn't get too far. New quarterback coming in for the South team. That's David Fales out of San Jose State. His team leads by 13.
Fruit with a cool finish. Fruit on one side, cool on the other. Icebreakers Duo, a fruity cool way to break the ice.
If you're smaller, pack a bigger punch. If they think they've seen it all, prove them wrong. If no one believes in you, believe in yourself even more. Dare the impossible and do the incredible. This is the Mazda way, and how we made the all-new Mazda 3 with outstanding efficiency and cutting-edge technology that keeps you connected to the world and the road. This is the all-new Mazda 3. What do you drive?
Xbox on.
Xbox, Skype, Derek, you.
You know, why not? Take charge. Find a good guy.
Feel that connection. Why not?
Put yourself out there. Go on a first date.
Get the butterflies in your stomach. Why not?
Why not? Why not?
Try Match.
Come on, no-brainer.
Match.com, #1 in dates, relationships, and marriages. Start for free today.
The NFL Honors. Find out who will take home the NFL's most prestigious awards. And the 2014 Hall of Fame class is revealed. The NFL Honors. Saturday, February 1st at 8 on Fox.
Welcome back to the 2014 Reese's Senior Bowl. The last 2 years, only 2 quarterbacks in the nation went over 4,000 passing yards both seasons in 2012 and 2013. One is Derek Carr out of Fresno State. We've already seen Derek play today. The other quarterback playing for the first time, David Fales out of San Jose State. Set 28 career season and team records and individual game records in just 2 years there. And over the middle, nice catch, Crockett Gilmore. Touchdown catch already, and then after that, a first down reception and an excellent grab there for 23, brought down by Trent Murphy.
Crockett Gilmore, we talked about him as a blocker on tape, but look at him get down the hash here and be able to separate from that second level of defense, get over the top of Trent Murphy. That's a difficult throw for Fales. Trent Murphy, 6'6". That's one of those over-under throws. Got to get it over the linebacker, underneath the safety. Great play by Fales.
And not an easy catch for Gilmore. His body momentum moving to the middle. The ball was just slightly behind him. He made up good up and got the football.
Salafaro fights his way across the 40-yard line. So David Fales, give us I was so excited that he was coming down here, DJ, after he threw for over 500 yards in that game against Derek Carr. They found a way to beat Fresno. Report on him.
Well, first of all, you start with the intangibles. Everybody loves him as a leader. He's been the face of that program at San Jose State that turned things around and won a lot of football games. But talent-wise, not a huge arm, but he's a great decision maker. He's very accurate, especially underneath. A little bit of the question, just can he drive the ball deep down?
Accurate in college, 68% in those 2 seasons at San Jose State. That's Lorenzo Taliaferro, again out of Coastal Carolina.
Depending on how you look at things, it took him a while to find a home. How many different places was he before he found a home in San Jose? Right?
I can tell the story. He committed to Nevada, saw that Colin Kaepernick was there, said no thanks.
Good move.
Went to Monterey Peninsula College for a season, then went to Wyoming for a month, then back to Monterey Peninsula, then he ended up at San Jose State.
So some people would say that's perseverance. Other people would say you didn't hang in there and battle a few people, right? But it doesn't matter. Ultimately, it came out in the end very well for David Fales. Coming out of that pile there is Taliaferro across the 25-yard line for the first down. And the South team on the move again. That's a gain of 10. He was eventually tackled by Des Southward out of Wisconsin. Watch the left side. And because the blocking there was terrific. That was number 66 up front, Wesley Johnson from Vanderbilt, that sealed things for him and allowed the hole to be created. Also on that side, who's that? The big left
Morgan Moses.
Morgan Moses from Virginia.
That's a people mover. Is the scouting term I use for Morgan Moses. He can create a lot of gaps, a lot of seams in the run game. Has actually held up really well in pass protection this week as well.
Antonio Andrews out of Western Kentucky is your new tailback. Fails off the play action. Trying to buy some extra time. Trent Murphy in pursuit, and that was thrown to a wide open Kevin Norwood out of Alabama. Led the Crimson Tide with 7 touchdown receptions during the season and has 1 here in the Senior Bowl. DJ, you said that Morgan Moses was dancing well on the left side. People thought it was just a right tackle. Watch this pass protection against Michael Sam, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year and a terrific speed rusher. Look at this job. Washes Sam down inside to give Fales extra time to extend the play, and then Norwood finds his way open. Fales finds it. Now, how did he get open? Run a little short route, then just kind of gets bypassed. Everyone starts to look elsewhere, and then when Fales flushes out of the pocket, Norwood's there for the delivery. Kevin Norwood had caught at least 1 touchdown pass in 5 consecutive games leading up to the Sugar Bowl, and has a touchdown grab here that gives his team a 20-point cushion with 7:32 left until halftime.
Start the engine and shift through all 8 speeds of a transmission connected to more standard horsepower than its German competitors. And that is the moment driving the Lexus GS will shift your perception. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Coming up tonight on NFL Total Access, our minds are sort of in 2 places at once.
Yeah, here and home.
No, Alabama for the Senior Bowl and New Jersey for the Super Bowl.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern.
Super Bowl week, where legends are made.
Deep down to the back of the end zone, touchdown!
The champion is crowned.
Super Bowl champion!
No one covers it like NFL Network, with over 80 live hours dedicated to the big game, an all-access pass to Media Day, and the most complete Super Bowl game day coverage anywhere.
NFL Network, your pass to the playoffs.
Launches it for the end zone, Jerry Rice!
The most prolific receiver in NFL history.
I get chills of knowing how great he was.
Whose relentless drive.
If you didn't live to Jerry's standard, you weren't a 49er.
Made him the greatest of all time.
I had that hunger. If he saw the ball up in the air, he was going to go get it.
He changed the way people played that position.
He's the baddest man to catch a football, bar none.
Jerry Rice of Football Life, next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network.
This season, we asked a question.
The first pass that Nate made, there was a set of parents that were back there saying, "Miracle, miracle," chanting it.
Now, Nate Carter is about to win the trip of a lifetime.
I know, Nate, when you got sick, your mom and dad believed. And most importantly, you believed. Nate Carter, you won. You're going to the Super Bowl.
I'm so proud of you, baby.
Watch Football America, Our Stories, Super Bowl Sunday on Fox.
Welcome back to the Reese's Senior Bowl here in Mobile, Alabama, and this truly is our late January home away from home. Feels like we were just here, Charles. As soon as we get here, feels like we never left.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, isn't it? The people here are tremendous.
Always
the enthusiasm for this week is evident, but just people are just friendly everywhere you go, accommodating, and they really make our stay each week comfortable.
Just got a look there at David Fales, the quarterback out of San Jose State, on his first series. Big completion to Crockett Gilmore, and then a touchdown pass to Kevin Norwood out of Alabama, and it's 20-0 South team. This is Charles Sims out of West Virginia. And he brings it out to the 17-yard line. Gain of 19, or the return of 19. No one covers Super Bowl week like NFL Network, with 80 hours of live coverage dedicated to the big game, an all-access pass to Media Day, and the most complete coverage of game day. It's everything you need leading up to Super Bowl 48. Super Bowl week is coming on NFL Network. Interesting season for Mike Smith, the head coach of the North team, the #1 seed in the NFC. In 2012, disappointment in 2013. He get the head start on evaluating for this draft by being around these players all week. That's David Fluellen, running back out of Toledo, first team All-MAC, 2 consecutive seasons, picks up 6 right there.
The Falcon season tells you about the NFL. What is one of the adages about the NFL? It's a 7-point league. Right? Each and every week, most games decided within 7 points, right? Well, they go from, as you pointed out, Paul, the #1 seed all the way down to out of the playoffs. How about Kansas City? 2-14 the year before. They vaulted their way all the way up to the playoffs. Started out, what, 8-0, 9-0? Just tells you about this league. It's very difficult.
Eagles traveling a similar road. And traveling a road to a first down there is David Fluellen. We do have a penalty marker down at the 24-yard line.
Holding offense, number 86, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Jacob Patterson, guilty of that call there, the tight end out of Wisconsin. Fluellen, the tailback, over 1,400 yards his junior season. Missed 3 of the final 4 games his senior season with a broken bone in his left ankle. Still picked up over 1,100 yards and averaged nearly 7 yards per carry.
Nice to be able to see him make it back for the Senior Bowl. Mike Campanaro, the wide receiver from Wake Forest, broke a collarbone during the season, able to make it back. Actually cleared a week and a half before he came here to Mobile to participate in the Senior Bowl.
Stephen Morris has that one batted down.
Guess who?
D. Ford already with 2 sacks, and now a pass broken up.
From the top of your screen, realizes he can't get to the quarterback, so just sets up and plays the ball. Actually became like a basketball defender. Saw it, okay, let me get myself balanced and in position. Where are you going to throw it? He sees the throw, hops up and bats it away.
Medical redshirt for a back injury in 2011, then came on strong the last 2 seasons. 6.5 tackles for loss in 2012, then 14.5 in 2013, including a couple. Had a pair of sacks in the BCS title game and has 2 here today. James White, the tailback from Wisconsin, right up the middle, still going. And White out to the 25-yard line.
Good tackle by Craig Loston from LSU, because if he doesn't make that tackle, I think White picks up the yardage for a first down on a 3rd and long.
James White, 2nd team All Big Ten this past season, averaging 6.5 yards per carry and picking up 1,444 yards.
Tells you about the competition in that league at the running back spot. If you're going to gain over 1,400 yards in a season, you shouldn't have anything but 1st team next to your name, right?
Exactly.
You got a good 2nd team all league.
Back to receive, Chris Davis out of Auburn. Had the highlight of the season, returning the missed field goal for a touchdown to knock off Alabama.
He's got to go get that. He just gave up a lot of yardage.
Scooped it up late. And brought down at the 27-yard line. Tackle made by the tight end out of Iowa, C.J. Fedorowicz. That's a return of 6. Our Daniel Jeremiah is versatile here today, Charles. He was in the booth, now he's down in the field. DJ.
Well, I'm here with John Maitre-Jean, the executive with the Reese's, and I just want to thank you so much for a wonderful week we've had down here at the Senior Bowl. But I got to ask you, what made you guys want to get involved with the Senior Bowl?
Well, Daniel, Reese's is really excited to be part of the Senior Bowl this year. In fact, as we're a member of the partner with the NCAA for the past 5 years, as with the strength of our relationship, we thought the Senior Bowl would be a perfect choice. It's like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter. butter, the Senior Bowl is a perfect combination of college athletes, best college athletes, and future pro superstars.
Well, I got to ask the most important question. Is it the peanut butter or is it the chocolate?
It's both. It really is both.
Okay. What was your favorite part of the week down here, the entire experience here at the Senior Bowl?
The whole week's been great, but honestly, the biggest thing was meeting all the players. They're wonderful athletes, but they've been better people off the field. Just really meeting them. The fans have been wonderful, come to see all the players. It's been a great week, and I can't wait to come back next year for the Reese's Senior Bowl.
And Paul, I know, as with you, my kids always want me to bring them home something when we go on these trips, so I'll be bringing this guy here home. I think I'll be popular in the Jeremiah house.
Thank you very much, DJ. We had a full one of those a little while ago. Charles had
a full one of those.
You can't sit that right in front of us.
That's just not right.
Antonio Andrews, running back out of Western Kentucky, led the nation in all-purpose yards in each of the last 2 seasons. Tackle made by Chris Borland. He also had a nice last couple of seasons, actually last 3 seasons at Wisconsin. All 3 over 100 tackles and the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year this past fall.
How about a career, 420 tackles, 50 of them for loss with 17 sacks. A versatile guy, and not to be outdone, his freshman year at Wisconsin, he actually kicked 3 extra points.
With the straight toe or soccer style?
I'm guessing straight toe.
He looks like that,
but I don't have it. Kind of like that game we had when we were kids. Remember the machine, super toe? You hit it on top of the head and the thing would kick. But he's a versatile athlete. I think he's a better athlete than he often gets credit for. Very heady player, too.
And David Fales goes down, sacked by Michael Sam, outside linebacker out of Missouri, led the SEC in tackles for loss and sacks this last fall.
Let me just go ahead and say it, Paul. They've made him an outside linebacker for this game. If I'm scouting him and I'm evaluating him, he is not an outside linebacker. That's what he is, a defensive end. See him work against Billy Turner from North Dakota State. Gets to the outside shoulder of Turner, gets to the edge, bends, dips, and gets to the quarterback. I don't think that Michael Sam's living in the NFL is going to be as an outside linebacker on his feet. I think he plays forward with his hand in the ground.
11.5 sacks, leading the SEC in 2013. Ball came out for a second, but the North team recovered. That's Jeff Janis, the wide receiver from Saginaw Valley State. A Football Life coming up on Wednesday. Jerry Rice, the most prolific wide receiver in NFL history. His relentless drive to be the best made him the greatest of all time. A Football Life, Jerry Rice, coming up Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network.
You know what I remember most about Jerry Rice was first hearing about him at Mississippi Valley State, because they had the great nicknames. You know, he was being thrown to by Willie the Satellite Totten, and their head coach was Archie the Gunslinger Cooley.
Taj Boyd firing a strikeout right there to Robert Huron out of Wyoming. Go ahead.
And they had, you know, Jerry was so prolific in college, you know, people were doubling him, tripling him. So the gunslinger had to come up with a way to get him the football. They came up with this stack formation with everyone to one side, Jerry on what they call the nub side, the back side, so he ended up getting more one-on-one coverage. It's a lot like isolation plays in basketball in order to make sure that the flash, Jerry Rice caught the football and created big plays.
It's all about learning this week, and learning about Taj Boyd the past few days. I think we learned, first of all, his height just under 6'1", correct?
Yep.
Ball start. Offense. Number 88. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And when it comes to arm strength, throwing into the wind, we had that really windy day on Wednesday. What'd you learn about how he throws the football?
I think that he's got a big arm. You know, I think when we watched him throw the football, he, Stephen Morris, and Logan Thomas, all of them cut through the wind. That part wasn't the issue. It's the accuracy and consistency that you're worried about with them, making sure that keeps coming along. I know one thing, you're not going to outwork Taj Boyd. That's one thing for sure.
Screen pass to James White out of Wisconsin, picks up 7 yards, and the tackle made by Adrian Hubbard, outside linebacker from Alabama.
Yeah, big personality what Taj Boyd has, fills up a room. Guy wants to be a leader, wants to work at the game, wants to be involved. So he's going to work hard on what the deficiencies are that he's going to take away from this, that people are going to tell him to work on, and he'll be ready to go come camp time.
And as you mentioned all week, he finished strong in the Orange Bowl, 378 yards passing, 127 yards rushing. Only accounted for 6 touchdowns in that big victory over Ohio State. We've arrived at the 2-minute warning, and the North team looking to get on the board for the first time. They trail 20-0.
precise on-road handling. This is total confidence and comfort. This is easy-to-use off-road capability when you need it. This is 70 and counting safety and security features. This is the freedom to keep chasing all the horizons you want. Introducing the all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee.
Well-qualified lessees can lease the all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee Sport for $259 a month.
Old Spice, take a look what you've done. You made a sexy man right out of my son. Old Spice!
Donnie Lama. Yeah, I just got that.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Cheadle.
How are you, Joe?
Very well, thank you. And you? Hello, Lily.
Golden Corral is the best deal in America.
You can't beat the price, or the food, or the Triple Fountain Yum.
For one low price, it's everything you love at Golden Corral, including the incomparable Triple Fountain Yum. Only at Golden Corral.
Best deal in America.
Period.
Preparation, dedication, or something that can't be defined. It doesn't matter what makes them perform. When NFL hopefuls are on the clock, it just matters that they do. NFL Network is there with them. Live and exclusive coverage from the Scouting Combine. Live starting February 22nd, only on NFL Network.
2-minute warning here in Mobile, Alabama. 20-0, the South on top. And just to add a little color to how that 0 feels, this is going to be the first snap for the North team inside of South territory all afternoon.
Not normal. You don't get this very often in all-star games. You know, typically a little more evenly matched as they go along so far. The South defense imposing its will.
Taj Boyd out of Clemson stepping up, keeping it himself. He can do this well across the 40-yard line. Had over 1,100 rushing yards in his career at Clemson. Picks up 7 right there. Clock stops. We got a timeout called by the North team.
We are missing our colleague Mike Mayock, and we send our best wishes to he and his family as they deal with a family emergency today. And look at this, you just mentioned it, Paul. That's what Taj Boyd brings to the table, the ability to escape, some elusiveness, and Daniel Jeremiah pointed out this week during practice, some power in running the football. You can use him as a goal line runner. He weighs, what he weigh in, 220-something? At one point in his college career, he was creeping towards 240. He's got into better nutrition, slimmed himself down, got a little bit quicker, but never really lost his strength. And now you see the payoff with him. You talked about the excellent Orange Bowl he had, not just throwing the football, but running it for a couple of scores too.
More touchdown passes in the ACC than any quarterback ever, Charles, 107. His individual accomplishments don't stop there. First quarterback in ACC history with 30 touchdown passes or more in 3 consecutive seasons. I like that led to team success. He went 32-8 in his 40 starts. Quarterback sneak there on 3rd and a yard. And it's right at the sticks.
They played 2 BCS bowl games when he was his quarterback at Clemson.
Open.
Both of them were Orange Bowls. One very successful this past year against Ohio State. The other, not so much, against West Virginia. And West Virginia put 70 points on Clemson that night.
Taj prefers to remember the most recent one. First down and 10 for Boyd. Toss that one underneath to Mike Campanaro out of Wake Forest. Quite a career he had there. Wake Forest all-time leader in receptions with 229. That one gets him 8.
Tough inside slot receiver. And Paul, when you look at him, you know people stereotype him. Oh, terrific route runner. He'll do this, do that. Really, route running is something he needs to work on. He is very used to just finding open space and freelancing a little bit and finding a way to get open against the double coverage and the bracket coverages he's faced. Route running will be something he'll have to work on as he continues to go forward.
2,500 receiving yards and 14 touchdowns at Wake Forest. Taj Boyd has that one tipped second time this afternoon. He's had the ball knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
Remember, they said that would be a bugaboo perhaps for Russell Wilson in Wisconsin, and NC State both pointed out that really wasn't an issue when he was in school.
Nice high release.
Good
Russell
release, and you don't throw over linemen. Where do you do, Paul?
You find a lane and kind of throw between them.
There you go. And this one, big Daniel McCullers from Tennessee, who is mammoth. Okay, when I say mammoth, all right, believe me, that is a large young man. Gets his big paw, and smacks that one away.
All 6'7" of them. There's Charles Sims out of West Virginia. Running hard across the 20-yard line. The North team picking up momentum here. That's actually out of Toledo, David Fluellen.
Similar helmet. Get that blue and gold scheme.
Right.
These all-star games, it'll fool us all.
Taj Boyd back to the air. Double pulse. And that one's incomplete. Overshot Robert Huron out of Wyoming. At Wyoming, led the Cowboys this year, 937 receiving yards, over 2,000 for his career.
He's a little guy, but he will go up and get the football. You know what would be really interesting here? I doubt we'll get it. I'd love to see quarterback draw here. You know, deep in the territory. I'd love to see him fake it and go. But since they don't blitz, you probably have linebackers just sitting in the hole waiting for you.
There's Fluellen. Screen game, little hesitation, and going nowhere, dropped at the 20-yard line. And a nice tackle made there by Florida State linebacker Telvin Smith.
See, those types of plays difficult in this situation because, Paul, you don't have blitzers. You know, you don't have people who are coming upfield that you can take advantage of that way. Quarterback draws, screens, tough to run on days like this.
The South team pitching a shutout, but the North team with a chance, their first really good chance to score, trailing by 20.
When you run your own business, you might be doing things at 2 in the morning.
I am always working.
I'm thinking about work right now as we speak. You know, I just never stop.
Vistaprint understands that business owners need a convenient and affordable way to promote their business.
Vistaprint makes my life easy, and it's done.
The easy-to-use tools and templates at Vistaprint.com make it simple to look professional and coordinate your marketing across everything from business cards to websites to postcards and more. See how easy today. Enter promo code TV250 and get 250 cards for just $10.
The tools on their website are great. I can put my logo on something and make it look good.
It's one-stop shopping right there. Boom, 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 all done. And minimal bill, minimal bill.
Enter promo code TV250 today and we'll cover the shipping for free.
It's easy, it's affordable, and it's just awesome.
Vistaprint.com.
Jolly Rancher and Twizzlers Bites are so soft, chewy, and filled with their fruity selves. They think this world isn't big enough for the both of them. But we assure you, it is. Bites, little greatness.
Little over 1 minute left until halftime. The North team led by Taj Boyd on the move, really for the first time this afternoon. The South team defense has been excellent. See if Taj Boyd can put up points on the board. And you made that observation right away, Charles Davis, that it looks like the South team defense just a little bit quicker right now. Taj Boyd out of the backfield looking for James White, and you hate to make excuses for a guy, but I think the sun got in his eyes.
I think the sun got in his eyes, and Taj threw a fastball
from about 6 yards away.
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of touch on that bad boy. He was trying to get it to him through a little bit of traffic, so I think he put a little bit extra on it, and that got on James White before he had a chance to get prepared.
Should remind you, James White does catch the ball pretty well, caught 73 passes in his career, 39 as a senior. This is Chris Boswell out of Rice from 38 yards away. And that's how the North team scores for the first time.
His quarterback at Rice, Taylor McGard, texted me during the week and said, hey, take care of my guy Boswell. Chris has got a live leg. Well, Taylor, your scouting report, spot on.
And his team on the board finally, trailing by 17.
Love to stay fit? Get paid to work out and transform lives as a certified personal trainer.
Personal trainers are in high demand. The National Academy of Sports Medicine has helped thousands of fitness-focused people just like you get started in this rewarding and high-paying career.
NASM certified trainers have a median salary of $44,000 a year.
The online, at-home program gives you the skills and competitive edge you need to get the job you've always dreamed of. set your own hours, be financially independent, and get paid to do what you love, just like me.
The personal trainer industry is booming. There's a huge demand for you right now. Start your new career today. Call now and you'll receive NASM's industry-leading job guarantee that promises you'll land a job within 60 days or your certification is free. As an added bonus, the first 50 calls will receive a 14-day sneak peek of NASM's online training course.
Call 1-888-253-7651 or visit usatrainer88.com and get started now.
NFL Network is live from Media Day. The players sound off before the big game.
Preparation is important. You want to have laser focus. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Super Bowl Live Media Day. Coverage begins Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern on NFL Network.
Chris Boswell, 38-yard field. Taj Boyd, former ACC Player of the Year. 3-year starter at quarterback there and leads the first scoring drive for the North team. It's 20-17.
As the game goes on for the North, it'd be interesting to see if they get some tight ends involved a little bit more. You know, they got good pass catchers in Fedorowicz, Jacob Pedersen, Gator Hoskins. See if they can get them the football a little bit.
Chris Davis from his own goal line. Davis out to the 21-yard line. Let's go down to the sideline and check in with Daniel Jeremiah.
Guys, I'm like, where's Waldo? I try and eavesdrop a little bit. Went over and talked to Jetfish. What are you going to do with this first play, Coach? Jalen Saunders on a corner route. They're going to try and put the ball deep down the field, get the Oklahoma speedster involved here. We'll see if they can hit it.
All right, so it's nice to have him down there snooping around. Huh?
Isn't it great in this type of a game, guys, when you can go to the coach and he'll gladly tell you? And if you sit with him for a production meeting, hey, Coach, how are you going to open the game, you know, during regular season? Well, I guess you'll just have to find out when we play. A little different today.
Jalen Saunders looking to stay hot. 5 catches in the big bowl victory over Alabama. That's Mike Davis, the Longhorns' leading receiver this past season with 727 yards.
Hey, DJ. He sold you a bum steer on that one.
He had the corner route. Carr took the easy way out. Took that quick completion. He's stat padding right now. Come on.
You better talk to Jed and tell him, hey, what he tells you, they better start doing it.
Hey, Jalen Saunders, though, is one of the players you talked about right at the beginning of the week based off of what you saw from him in person at the Sugar Bowl.
Oh, he went off in that Sugar Bowl against Alabama. You want to step up against good competition. He was electric on that football field. After the catch, going up high point in the football. Saw everything you needed to see from him. Just doesn't have that size, guys, but he's a playmaker.
Oh, Derek Carr almost fired an interception there. And that's Stanley Jean-Baptiste out of Nebraska.
And this has been good for him, guys. It's about Stanley Jean-Baptiste because normally at his size, he's been a press coverage corner. But he happened to play off in a game like this, being able to see the play in front of him, trusted his eyes, drove on the football and broke it up. Those are two. That's the second nice play of the game that Stanley Jean-Baptiste has had in breaking on a football.
Led Nebraska in passes broken up the last 2 seasons with 22. Looks pretty good going along with his 6 picks. Great play right there. 3rd down and 10 now, 39 seconds left. Derek Carr down the sideline here. The touch pass almost. One falls incomplete, looking for the all-time leading receiver at BYU, Cody Hoffman.
Paul, you're a quarterback. That was the right throw, though, wasn't it?
Leave it outside. Leave it only your guy can get it.
And fade him to the sideline. I thought Cody Hoffman didn't fade there well enough. You know, he's upfield. Got to know that's where the ball needs to go to stay away from the defender. He was still really running straight upfield on the line before he started to fade, and it was too late.
I like it when you pin it on the wide receiver, Charles. It's nice of you.
I'm a defensive back. I'm going to pin a lot of things on the wide receiver.
Every chance you can get. Wide receiver back for the North team. Saginaw Valley State, Jeff Janis. Caught him by surprise a little bit, goes out of bounds, and with 25 seconds left and trailing by 17, we'll see what the North team does.
That's it.
Gus Bradley, the head coach of the Jaguars, we enjoyed watching him coach all week long. You hear about his enthusiasm, and it's just hard not to be up and feel the same way about the game when you're around him. He's great for that Jaguars building, and he was just good for us here this week too.
And what I was really impressed with was hearing from his staff that during a very difficult season, and remember, Gus Bradley's a first-time head coach. So oftentimes when the losses pile up, a little panic creeps in, right? A little extra volatility. Never happened with him. And at one point during a game, some of the staff was getting a little agitated. Gus Bradley saying, Coach, we know it's a building job. Hang in there.
Taj Boyd firing deep. And incomplete, looking for his wide receiver from Wyoming, Robert Huron.
Chris Davis had the coverage, and he had a nice all-around year for Auburn this year. What most people remember are, of course, the return against Alabama, but then in the national championship game, down the stretch, Kelvin Benjamin beats him for the winning touchdown on a route in the end zone, so people remember that. This kid had a really nice season, was second-team All-SEC, 15 passes broken up. I was teasing him in pregame. I said, dude, how do you have 0 interceptions with your type of ball skills? He's like, man, I know. I got to get one today. So let's hope we can pull that off.
Boyd now 15 seconds left, flushed out to his right. And fires incomplete. You mentioned Benjamin, the wide receiver out of Florida State, and our Daniel Jeremiah talked about the wide receiver class heading into this draft. And the Jordan Matthews, a wide receiver in this game, is his only senior on his top 10 wideouts. It's a terrific receiving class for talent. Not a lot of seniors on the top of that list.
No, and I think that Jordan Matthews had a good week here, but I suspect that the only reason he's one of the only senior in that is those juniors are so dynamic and so fast that's a problem for some of these senior receivers, because Jordan Matthews is one of the bigger guys who runs good routes, but I'm not sure he'll run the same way as Sammy Watkins or Marquise Lee will.
Taj Boyd certainly enjoyed having Sammy Watkins to throw to most, the #1 wide receiver in this class. That was to Jeff Janis, led Division II in receiving this past year. 4th down and 10 now with 4 seconds left.
Yeah, and that was eaten up. Looked like Walt Aikens in the coverage on that one.
It's a name I've heard quite a bit from you guys.
From Liberty University. And Jeff Janis, I don't think running streak routes is really what he does best. I think he's going to be more of a, mid-range guy, big receiver, go inside and catch the football. Did not fool Walt Aikens at all, who had that play smothered.
Jalen Saunders out of Oklahoma calls for the fair catch at the 37-yard line. And that's going to do it for the first half. The first half dominated by the South team defense. Sacks, turnovers, couple of touchdown passes. 1 touchdown toss to Kevin Norwood, 1 to Crockett Gilmore. And it's 20-3. Let's go to the sideline. Daniel Jeremiah joined by the Jaguars and South team head coach, Gus Bradley.
Coach, that first half, there's a lot to like about the way your guys played. What stood out to you?
You know what? I really liked how they came out with great spirit. I mean, ready right from the start. Celebrated each victory from each player that had a chance to make a play. And just, I think they're really striving to get better, and it showed.
Now, this isn't a game where you go into the locker room and make adjustments. What do you tell the guys in an all-star game like this at halftime?
Well, our whole objective in the game was for everybody to be their best. And that's what our hopes are, is everybody can play at their highest ability, and we got a second half to do that.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
Gus, DJ, thank you very much. And after a short break, Dan Helly, Heath Evans, and Sean Merriman going to join you in Los Angeles for NFL Total Access. The Reese's Senior Bowl halftime show is coming up.
We could say a lot about the most track-tested IS ever, but the truth is, we don't have to. The experts have spoken. Now, it's your move.
You are a business pro, ruler of the rule book, keeper of composure, and when push comes to shove, you never give an inch. And you rent from National, because only National lets you choose any car in the aisle and go. And only National is ranked highest in car rental customer satisfaction by J.D. Power.
Touchdown.
Good call, business pro. Good call. Go National. Go like a pro.
Winter Olympian Ted Ligety cannot take a sick day. So when he catches a cold, he's got to power through it. Big Stayquil, powerful, non-drowsy, 6-symptom cold and flu relief. Winter Olympian Ted Ligety can't take a sick day tomorrow. So he can't let a cold keep him up tonight. Big Nyquil, powerful nighttime 6-symptom cold and flu relief.
Super Bowl week, where legends are made.
Deep down to the back of the end zone, touchdown!
The champion is crowned.
Super Bowl champion!
No one covers it like NFL Network, with over 80 live hours dedicated to the big game, an all-access pass to Media Day, and the most complete Super Bowl game day coverage anywhere.
NFL Network, your pass to the playoffs.
Welcome to the Reese's Senior Bowl halftime report. Dan Hellie here with Super Bowl champion Heath Evans and three-time Pro Bowler Sean Merriman talking about what a great Senior Bowl this has been thus far, especially if you're on the North team, because right now they're, or the South team rather, they're dominating the North 20-3. Let's take a look at what's been going down so far. There you see him. Gus Bradley, Mike Smith, also a head coach in the first quarter. Derek Carr from Fresno State says, you know what? My brother was pretty good, but so am I. 17-yard touchdown pass to Crockett Gilmore in the South, takes a 7-0 lead. Fast forward to the second quarter, David Fales, another guy from a California school, buying some time. He's from San Jose State, to Kevin Norwood for the 24-yard touch.
Yeah, now explain to me how he got on the South team there, Dan. We were trying to work that out, right?
There's a lot of inexplicable roster settings. This is not, though. Ooh. This is the Empire State Building live right now in New York City. We are 8 days away from the Super Bowl. There is a 30% chance of snow, so things could get interesting there in New York. Our NFL Network set is going up as we speak. This is not a live look, but taken just moments ago. We are on Super Bowl Boulevard in Times Square. It is going to be a very, very fun week. We talked about this a little bit during the week. The lack of experience on the Seattle Seahawks roster, not a player, as well as their head coach, they've never been to the Super Bowl. So this is a completely new experience. The Broncos only have 4 guys, but you have Wes Welker, who's been there a couple of times, Peyton Manning, who has won one. This lack of experience for the Seahawks, is this something that's going to come back to bite them, or does it really matter at this point, Sean?
You know, I think so. When you're a young guy, you think it's that easy to get on that level, and you realize some people go their whole career. Some players go their whole career without getting to this level. So those young guys don't know. You might not ever have a chance getting back there. So I think that an experience will play in at some point in time.
I almost think young and dumb kind of falls into the Seahawks' advantage. Just look at the way the team is built. I mean, their head coach is emotionally charged. The players, I mean, it's just the way they've been built. And so Peyton can talk to the guys till he's blue in the face. Wes can go back to Super Bowl 42 and say, hey, guys, here's the things we did good, here's the things we did bad. You know, but how guys process information and then are they actually obedient to what they're being told? Those are two different things. So I just think, listen, most time championship games, the better team always wins. And I just think that's going to be the Seahawks this time around.
They'll be excited. They'll be excited. But what's going to happen when that fourth quarter comes around and Peyton Manning is, you know what, I've been here before. I don't have to rush anything. I don't have to try to beat this team. I'm calm. I'm relaxed. And those guys' attitude is completely different at the end of the game. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen in a clutch situation in this game.
See, I think your boy from Tennessee, Peyton Manning, will probably be thinking the last time he was in a Super Bowl how he threw a pick-6 to Tracy Porter. So maybe some of that added pressure of past experience.
It's going to be in the back of his head, you're saying.
Might go against him.
All right. Well, we have a lot of time to break down what's going to be happening at the Super Bowl. Second half of the Senior Bowl going to be coming up shortly. Taj Boyd didn't like this. Picked off by Craig Loston here. Taj Boyd hoping for better things in the second half. We'll be right back.
Under Armour's job is to make athletes better, to help Jordan Spieth compete for championships, and to make Lindsey Vonn faster than ever before. Under Armour can make tight feel nice, make strong look pretty, and help make Lindsey's comeback a reality. But most of all, Under Armour empowers the next athlete to believe that they can do anything.
Just certify our pre-owned vehicles. We inspect, analyze, and recondition each one
until it's nothing short of a genuine certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz for the next new owner. Hurry into your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for 1.99% financing during our certified pre-owned sales event through February 28th.
You see this? KFC Go Cup. Yeah. I got a piece of the new extra crispy boneless chicken in there with some wedges. It's only $2.49. That's not wrecking my budget. When they said $2.49, that had to be a mistake. The money that I don't spend on Go Cups, I can spend on ladies. Girl, let's go for an evening stroll. You know, I used to date a girl who lived right there.
Yeah?
Nah, but I wish I did. That's a nice house.
It's the bigger, better event at Radio Shack. Trade in your old phone and get up to $300 with eligible trade-in to use toward a new phone, like the Samsung Galaxy S4. Going on now at Radio Shack.
Don't worry, we'll be back after the game to wrap everything up from the Senior Bowl and talk the Pro Bowl as well. Guys out in Hawaii, the best in the NFL, preparing to put on a display. Sunday here on NFL Network, a full slate. We start at 3:30, Super Bowl live coverage, focusing on the Broncos. Then at 5, our NFL Total Access Pro Bowl pregame show, which goes 2.5 hours. You don't want to miss that. 7:30, we're talking Super Bowl live Seahawks. Then at 10:30 p.m., it is the NFL Total Access post-game show. Senior Bowl action as we speak. Virginia Tech quarterback Logan Thomas getting wrapped up there. The South leading the North 20-3 at halftime.
I have the flu. I took medicine, but I still have symptoms.
Truth is, not all flu products treat all your symptoms.
What?
Alka-Seltzer Plus Severe Cold and Flu speeds relief to these 8 symptoms.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Ready, go.
Xbox on.
Xbox, Skype, Derek, you.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that posting your travel plans online may attract burglars?
Off to Hawaii.
What if you didn't know that as the price of gold rises, so should the coverage on your jewelry? What if you didn't know that kitty litter can help you out of a slippery situation? The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. His relentless drive made him the greatest of all time.
I get chills of knowing how great he was.
He's the baddest man to catch a football, bar none.
Jerry Rice of Football Life, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network.
You got it right. Jeff Janis out of Saginaw Valley State. Taj Boyd looking deep, and there to pick it off, Greg Lumsden out of the LSU. Nice pocket to step into the end zone. Our first touchdown of the afternoon. Kevin Norwood out of Alabama. Norwood. We are at halftime here inside Lad Peoples Stadium. The Senior Bowl, the Reese's Senior Bowl, the South team, offense, defense, getting it done in all phases. They lead 20-3. Welcome to the broadcast booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Paul Burmeister. Our Daniel Jeremiah will be with us shortly. Mike Mayock, who was with us all week, went back home because of a family emergency. Mike is in our thoughts and prayers here throughout the day. All right, Charles, at the top of the broadcast, we talked about D. Ford out of Auburn getting after the quarterback. He did it all week in practice, not letting us down here during the game.
Not at all, and not only did he get 2 sacks in the first half, He actually batted a ball away on a pass rush, made a couple of plays against the run, so he did a little bit of everything. What I would love to see more, though, is to see him as a 3-4 linebacker, to see him on his feet, because when he goes through drills and agility, I teased him yesterday. I said, you got to quit running with the defensive linemen because that's just not fair. I said, you need to be with the defensive backs, and he said, that's who I work out with. And it shows he has that type of agility and movement. I really think he's a 3-4 outside linebacker who can put his hand in the ground and rush the passer in sub situations.
Offensively, we said the top quarterback in this game is Derek Carr, and he is 6 out of 9. He has certainly looked the part. You've noticed on the sideline there are NFL head coaches. Leading the north side is Mike Smith out of Atlanta, and he is with our DJ right now.
Now, Coach, the first half, the offense couldn't really get cranked up. What needs to happen to get some points up on the scoreboard here?
Well, I think we got to be able to pass protect a little bit better. We had a tough time blocking number 30 coming off of the edge, and if we don't protect them, we're not going to get a chance to throw the ball down the field.
Now, this is a different kind of all-star game. I asked Coach Bradley, how about yourself? What do you say to these guys at a halftime? It's not really an adjustment thing. It's kind of a different kind of speech.
Oh, yeah, you just got to go out and compete. That's the thing. You know, there's only so much you can do coverage-wise, so many things that you can do offensively. You just want to see these go out and put their best foot forward and compete against one another.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Daniel Jeremiah, Mike Smith, thank you very much. And much different feeling on the sideline, the other sideline, Charles, for Gus Bradley. His team playing defense, a couple of touchdown passes, one from David Fales, one from Derek Carr, and they lead 20-3. Perfect day for football, great day for evaluation. Such a unique opportunity all week to get in front of all the NFL evaluators and really put the pads on one final time, because, Charles, all the evaluation that takes place from here on out, whether it's on their own campus or in Indianapolis, they're wearing t-shirt and shorts. This is the last time in full pads. Jalen Saunders, slot wide receiver out of Oklahoma, dropped at the 20-yard line. You saw the score, 20 points for the South squad. It started off Derek Carr. A tight end's open underneath. Crockett Gilmore finds his way to the end zone. Kevin Norwood out of Alabama was that wide open. The touchdown pass came from David Fales out of San Jose State. A couple of field goals later and a whole lot of defense. Derek Carr and his South teammates leading 20-3.
51, 51. Down.
Tailback Lorenzo Talaferro out of Coastal Carolina swings it out to the all-time leader in receptions in the Southeastern Conference. That's Jordan Matthews from Vanderbilt. Tackle made by Dante Johnson from North Carolina State.
First time we called Jordan Matthews' name in this game. Big body receiver, 220-plus pounds. Can work the inside of the field, has a lot of toughness to him. The all-time leading receiver, as you expressed, in Southeastern Conference history, and he did it with an assortment of quarterbacks at Vanderbilt.
51.
Back-to-back seasons, over 1,300 yards receiving his junior and senior years. Also 15 touchdown catches in that time. Derek Carr looking underneath that time to Jay Brosh, his fullback out of Auburn. Derek Carr 6 out of 9 in that first half.
And I think we've seen a little bit of everything from him. Maybe one of the most impressive plays was an incompletion on the flea flicker, where he threw the ball downfield in a big way.
60 yards plus.
Yeah, actually probably fooled his receiver a little bit. Wasn't quite sure it would get that far and overthrew him.
51.
Third down and 5 now from the 25. Down. Tailback continues to be Lorenzo Talaferro.
What is it?
Carr feels the pressure and steps up and just slides down. Late flag comes in.
Holding, offense, number 67. That penalty is declined. Fourth down.
So the North team comes up with a stop, and you look at the score, there's something they desperately need and didn't do a whole lot of there in the first half.
Yeah, and that penalty against John Halapio from the University of Florida, guard, who I think had a good week here in the Senior Bowl. Strong, physical kind of guy. He got a penalty on that play, but that shouldn't wipe away the work he got done during the week.
Back deep to receive now for the North team, Mike Campanaro, wide out from Wake Forest.
Let's get a big return here for the birthday guy, right? When you turn 23, see if you can bring one back a little ways.
All-time leader in receptions. And Wake Forest, here he is from his own 25. Penalty marker comes in. right after Campanero caught the football. And we'll get a look and listen to what the call is before the North team gets their first crack on offense here in the second half.
During the return, holding. Return team number 6. 10-yard penalty. First down. Timeout.
Holding on the safety out of Baylor, Ahmad Dixon. Logan Thomas, all 6'6", 250 pounds of him, will be quarterbacking the North team, down by 17 when we come back.
For whatever happens next.
We could say a lot about the most track-tested IS ever. About its stiffer suspension, its precise steering, and its more rigid chassis. But the truth is, we don't have to. The experts have spoken. Now, it's your move.
I was drafted actually in baseball in the 4th round by the Colorado Rockies on June 8th, 2010. I love baseball. I went to NC State to play football and baseball. I could throw the football a little bit better than I could hit it, so I figured I might as well continue that and just keep growing with it.
That's what I'm looking for right now.
When people criticize me of my height, if that's the only thing they can criticize me, it's not too bad. I don't get too many balls batted down or anything like that. I have a high, quick release, and I play with rhythm and timing.
And as we pointed out a number of times during the week, Johnny Manziel owes a great big thank you for that quarterback named Russell Wilson, right at 6 feet, having so much success in the National Football League. Now, finally, the evaluation of all quarterbacks of all playmaking sizes seems wide open. And with that, we go to a guy who's 6'6", 250. Logan Thomas out of Virginia Tech. And that's a nice way to start the second half for James White out of Wisconsin. 1,400 rushing yards last year and picks up 8 on his first carry of the second half.
Good job by the offensive line just firing out. Look at that double team there by the Miami teammates. That's Brandon Linder, 65, Chantrell Henderson, 76. Creating a nice gap for James White to hurdle through.
Brought down by Terrence Brooks out of Florida State, one of 3 national champion defenders here, performing and competing during Reese's Senior Bowl week. This is 2nd down and 1. Logan Thomas underneath, and that's Jeff Janis. Led Division II in receiving yards this past season at Saginaw Valley State. Brought down by Keith McGill, and I love it when the guys make plays that we talked about at the top of the broadcast.
Yes.
Keith McGill, one of these big corners.
Gives us a chance to advance the story forward a little bit. McGill, safety and corner while at Utah. I talked to him before practice one day, and I said, "Where's your money, young man? Where's the money to be made for you at corner?" I said, exactly. Exactly what the league is looking for right now. Those big, long corners. Press coverage, which he's in now, ability to play it in this game.
James White off the left side. And he's run out of bounds there at the 37-yard line after a gain of 4.
Got a late flag in there, Paul.
Logan Thomas, 40 consecutive starts at Virginia Tech.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 37. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And DJ, while we're discussing Keith McGill, the impressive physical-looking corner out of Utah, we've talked about him all week, how he jumped out at us because he looked so good just standing there and then made some nice plays as well. And again, this could change. Your prediction could change. But right now, second, third, fourth, fifth-round pick, how's he look to you?
To me, I had him kind of as that third, fourth-round pick coming into the week. I think he's had a solid week. I don't know that he's upped his stock, a full round, but I think that third round is probably where teams start talking about him.
James White, busy out of Wisconsin here, carrying across the 45-yard line, and the tackle that time made by Anapoli.
Very good, yes. 2 for 2, Paul. Hey, DJ, when you talk about a guy like Keith McGill, where you have him rated right now, and people wonder because we're going to go to the combine and cover it. What if Keith McGill runs into 4.4s for some reason at the combine? How much does that up his stock?
When you're that size and you run into 4.4s, yeah, no, his agent will be very happy if he gets in that 4.4 range, and then you can start seeing him start to climb up a little bit. But just based purely off the tape, I don't know that he plays to that speed, and that's why I kind of have him as a third-round player.
Yeah, I don't see him as a 4.4s guy, DJ. I was just wondering about how things could jump around.
And Logan Thomas tried to regather and look downfield. He had no chance. And out of the Ivy League, it's not very often we get to talk about a standout from the Ivy League, but Karan Reed has had a nice week here.
Last year it was his teammate Mike Catapano, number 91 with the orange helmet, and he's working against the All-American Cyril Richardson. And what has been the issue for Cyril Richardson all week? Guys with movement. If you are a power player and you take on Cyril Richardson man for man, he often will bury you. But if you give him some movement, that's where his struggles come in. We saw Karan Reed with some movement get upfield and make a big play. 3-time first-team All-Ivy League, and in trouble again, and for the second play in a row, Karan Reed from the Ivy League to Mobile. 2 sacks on back-to-back plays. Watch in the middle. Working right, he's working on the opposite side this time. This time he wasn't working against Cyril Richardson, he's working against Brandon Linder, 65 from Miami. So he took on both guards in that series and won decisively. Karan Reed making waves here at the Senior Bowl and creating a nice little buzz this afternoon. First Princeton 2-time All-American in the last 20 years. Chris Davis out of Auburn back to receive from his own 12-yard line. Chris Davis, nice piece of returning out to the 30-yard line. He's tackled by Marcus Smith out of Louisville. Our Daniel Jeremiah has the executive director of the Senior Bowl, who's also a Mobile native, Phil Savage.
Phil, it's been a wonderful week here at the Senior Bowl. Every year at the Senior Bowl, it's kind of a own unique experience. What do you think we'll remember from this week?
Well, I think probably the energy and the enthusiasm of these two coaches, Mike Smith and Gus Bradley, in terms of what they brought to the table. And then I love the enthusiasm that the players had. And I talked to every one of them just about throughout the course of the week. They had a great time, and I think they would come back again if they could do it next year.
Now, there's a lot been made about some players that didn't show up here either for injury or for other reasons. How much of a challenge has it been to fill out that Reese's Senior Bowl roster this year?
Well, for every player that leaves, there are probably 8 or 9 or 10 that want to come here. We saw Crockett Gilmore, who was a late ad from Colorado State, make a couple big plays earlier in the game. So it's something that you have to work with. It was not that much higher in terms of numbers than it was last year in reality, but again, an opportunity for these players to get on the field and show what they can do, and I think they really enjoyed themselves.
Now, I know you enjoyed the draft last year because we had 3 of the top 5 picks were from the Senior Bowl, 10 first-rounders, and the #1 overall pick, Eric Fisher. Who do you think is going to emerge as the highest draft pick out of this year's crop?
I'd keep an eye on Zach Martin, the offensive lineman from Notre Dame. I think Dee Ford has played himself at least into the discussion in the first round. We're not going to have top 10 picks this year coming out of this game, but I think the depth of the talent on these rosters, you're going to see the vast majority, probably 90 of these players drafted again.
And Paul, I don't know if you know, but I was hired in the National Football League as a scout by Phil Savage here. He's bought me a lot of meals. I might owe him one tonight.
I know in your 8 years as a scout, you spent 6 of them working in some capacity with Phil Savage. And we are all excited to have Phil running the show here. Does an outstanding job. Kind and gentleman to everybody. That pass right there knocked down by Dante Johnson. I think Phil also had on a Reese's tie.
Oh, without a doubt. Phil understands how this game's played. He brought Reese's to the table, and things have worked out very well. But what Phil Savage has done to up this game, competitiveness, how the practices are run, just you name it, the banquet that they have for the players where guys are recognized. Aeneas Williams, a future Hall of Famer, coming in as the keynote speaker. Last year was Joe Ehrman, the former Baltimore Colt. Been fantastic, and that ball that was just knocked down by Dante Johnson. Another one of those long corners that everyone's looking at, a former safety at North Carolina State.
Mike Campanaro, wide receiver out of Wake Forest, run out of bounds at the 18-yard line. 7:10 left in the third quarter. The South team, offense and defense, all looking strong. It continues to lead by 17.
Welcome back. How was everything?
There's nothing like being your own boss. And my customers are really liking your flat rate shipping.
FedEx One rate.
Really makes my life easier.
Maybe a promotion is in order.
Good news. I got a new title.
And a raise?
Management couldn't make that happen.
Introducing FedEx One Rate. Simple flat rate shipping with the reliability of FedEx.
Who are we? We are the thinkers, the job jugglers, the up-all-nighters, and the ones who turn ideas into action. We've made our passions our life's work. We strive for the moments where we can say, I did it. We are entrepreneurs who started it all with a signature. LegalZoom has helped start over 1 million businesses, turning dreamers into business owners, and we're here to help start yours.
Fruit with a cool finish. Fruit on one side, cool on the other. Icebreakers Duo, a fruity cool way to break the ice.
Honestly, I wasn't meeting the right kind of people.
Everyone is so busy.
Just go, go, go. Match makes it so easy.
There are quality guys. Cute, funny, great guys.
Gives a girl hope.
Match.com, #1 in dates, relationships, and marriages. Start for free today.
The M&M Super Bowl Special.
This is going to be fun.
Marshall Faulk and Michael Irvin discuss the hottest topics leading up to the big game.
They did a good job against Crabtree, but Demarius is a beast.
The M&M Super Bowl Special, Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network. Welcome back to Mobile, Alabama, and the 2014 Reese's Senior Bowl. Gus Bradley leading the way for the South team. Head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you could say leading the way for the defense, Dee Ford out of Auburn. 2 sacks here today after he had 2 sacks in the BCS title game. Quarterback out of Virginia Tech, Logan Thomas for the North squad, and there's Dee Ford. And such a tremendous week for him. Now the question becomes, I think, a couple of different levels here, Charles. Number one, is he a 3-down backer? How is he against the run? And number 2, is he special enough as a pass rusher to warrant a first-round pick?
And you've got to have a team that has a plan for him, that has some creativity, like Seattle did with Bruce Irvin when we all thought, what are you doing? What are we thinking here? Well, they had a plan for him, and they put it into effect.
Logan Thomas swings it out wide. Ryan Hewitt is fullback out of Stanford. And whether you're talking about Logan Thomas or Taj Boyd, Stephen Morris, any one of these senior quarterbacks are all chasing the top 3 quarterbacks in this class, who at this early point of the process appears to be in any order: Johnny Manziel, Teddy Bridgewater, and Blake Bortles. And then comes the senior quarterbacks.
Yeah, right now as we eye it, we're thinking, is there a 4th guy in the first round? Derek Carr seems to be the early leader in the clubhouse.
David Fluellen, the tailback out of Toledo, to the left of Thomas. And Thomas goes down once again. And out of BYU, Kyle Van Noy. FBS Independent Defensive Player of the Year this past season. 62.5 career tackles for loss and 26 sacks.
DJ, look at who he beat for that sack across the face of
Seantrell Henderson.
The giant Seantrell Henderson came underneath and beat him upfield and got to the quarterback. Van Noy, I think, has been a terrific player while at BYU. He gave us evidence of why.
Mike Davis out of Texas, the leading receiver for the Longhorns. Flag comes raining in.
Paul, how many years have you done this game?
I've been at this game, or like been in the booth?
Yes, in the booth.
In the booth? This is year number 3.
Okay. If you combine all the penalties in the previous years, more tonight or that other number?
I think we have the winner today.
Wow.
If you can call that a winner.
Doing the Bad News Bears, let them play chant down on the sideline.
Okay, William Devane.
That's how you announce your presence back in the booth?
Goodness, well, I'm sweating. At least I'm not panting right now after hiking up here.
Illegal block in the back. Return team number 13. 10-yard penalty. South team keeps the ball. First down. Timeout.
We are once again a three-man booth. Looking forward to the company of Charles Davis and Daniel Jeremiah for the final 5 minutes, 12 seconds of the third quarter, and of course the fourth. South team home by 17.
We got the South squad.
Start the engine and shift through all 8 speeds of a transmission connected to more standard horsepower than its German competitors. And that is the moment driving the Lexus GS will shift your perception. This is the pursuit of perfection.
On this field, we can be champions today. 360. Here we go. We play for each other. Yeah! That's big time, boy.
Together, we make the game safer from the ground up. By making sure the fit of the equipment is every bit as good as the equipment. By making proper tackling the goal from the very first snap. And by making certification more important than any win-loss record. We make the game safer because to us, it's so much more than just a game. Make sure your coach is heads-up certified today. Go to usafootball.com. Together, we make football.
Seahawks fans, your team just won the NFC Championship. And now, direct from NFLshop.com, you can own the Seahawks Championship trophy tee and trophy hat. It's the official championship hat and t-shirt worn by players and coaches during the post-game celebration. Don't miss out on this great opportunity. Show your championship pride and own a piece of Seahawks history by visiting NFLshop.com now.
Together, we make the NFL Ticket Exchange, the only place to buy and sell verified, authentic NFL tickets, which means we make sure your name is on your ticket.
Enjoy the game, Gary.
Guaranteeing the day belongs to you. We make memories guaranteed, with your name written all over them. NFL Ticket Exchange. Together, we make football.
I'll tell you what, guys, it's different seniors every year we come down, but one constant remains in Mobile, Alabama. You know you're going to see the USS Alabama. It's always here. And there it is. We're just here in late January for 7 to 8 days. Happy to check in and watch the very best seniors. We're also very happy the weather is cooperating today. Clear, cool skies, not much wind, so Jimmy Garoppolo can fling it downfield. That was almost a one-handed interception by Isaiah Lewis out of Michigan State. He was looking for Norwood out of Alabama.
Would have been our second one today, Daniel, on a similar route, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. At least he put a little more on the line than Taj Boyd did. But, guys, Isaiah Lewis making that play, that's what I like to see from him because he plays rolled up a lot in coverage. So you see him underneath. In this situation, that's why an all-star game is great. You get to see him range off the hash and go get the football. Now, Charles, I'd like to see him use 2 hands and catch the football.
Yeah, of course. But, you know, we'll take this as a start because, as you mentioned, he's been a hammer most of his career policing the middle. Now he's trying to be a ball hawk.
Tailback is Jarek McKinnon out of Georgia Southern. Played a little quarterback this past season. Also has real home at running back. Still managed to go for over 1,000 yards rushing. Knocked out of bounds by Nevin Lawson, who earned an invite here with a great week, or at least a strong week at the East-West Shrine game last week in Tampa.
And McKinnon showed up well in the big games during his career at Georgia Southern. Went into Florida this past year in November. 9 carries, 125 yards, and a touchdown in their upset of Florida. And do you guys remember how many times the ball was in the air by Georgia Southern that day? They threw it 3 times. 3? Wow. How many completions? 0. And they went in there and beat the Gators, running the triple option. Jeff Monken, their head coach, now the head coach at Army.
3rd down and 3 now for Garoppolo. Pocket collapsing down and just fires that one away. Garoppolo with the discussion after the play. He said, was anybody open, or wasn't there some kind of penalty? Help me out.
I mean, that was big for him to get away from Kareem Martin, and there's no intentional grounding in the game today. Doesn't matter from where they throw it, in pocket, not in pocket, the whole deal. They try and protect the quarterbacks as much as possible, so grounding the ball is legal. Kareem Martin couldn't get a full grip on him and bring him down.
Kareem Martin's not a dynamic, explosive edge rusher. What he does, he uses his hands really well. You saw that hand strength at the end. Put the offensive lineman on the ground and get to the quarterback.
Back deep is Mike Campanaro once again out of Wake Forest, and he's not going to have a chance to return that one. Goes out of bounds. And the North team, 3:30 left. It's never too late for your offense to get hot in an all-star game. Did you guys know that?
Wishful thinking?
It just might happen on the other side of this break.
Introducing our new spring seasonal, Sam Adams Cold Snap.
That's nice.
It's got a lot of flavor.
This beer has 10 different ingredients in it.
You can definitely taste the orange peel.
That's really nice. It's nice and crisp.
Crisp, refreshing, and refreshing's the best word.
Sam Adams Cold Snap. Enjoy it while it's here.
NFL Network is live from Media Day. The players sound off before the big game.
Preparation is important. You want to have laser focus. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Super Bowl Live Media Day. Coverage begins Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern on NFL Network.
No one covers Super Bowl week quite like NFL Network. With 80 hours of live coverage dedicated to the big game and all-access pass to Media Day. And the most complete Super Bowl game day coverage. Everything you need leading up to Super Bowl 48, it's almost here. Super Bowl week on NFL Network. This is the end of Senior Bowl week. This is the third leading passer in the history of Miami, Stephen Morris, just missing Pedersen out of Wisconsin. He'd like to have that one back.
Okay, you're both quarterbacks. All right, Daniel, you played at Appalachian State. Paul, you played at Iowa. What would your offensive coordinator or quarterback coach say if you missed that throw there? What would they say to you?
Why? Why? How?
Daniel?
How did that
Put your feet in the ground and put it on him.
You missed the layup.
And Stephen Morris does some of that when you watch him on tape. He'll make a spectacular hole shot throw on the sideline in between two defenders, and he'll miss a bunny like that.
It would have been a glare before a comment, Charles. James White, tailback out of Wisconsin, around the left side. As long as you bring up my college coach, congratulations to Don Patterson, now the assistant head coach at UConn for a former Iowa teammate of mine, Bob Diaco, who's the head coach there, after an excellent job as the defensive coordinator at Notre Dame.
You guys made quite the assumption, by the way, that when I was in the game, we were throwing the football.
It took a shot. I didn't think you were Jarek McKinnon. You know, the young man from Georgia Southern. They're not going to throw it a whole lot.
Been a little option.
All right.
Stephen Morris, 3 steps coming underneath, and that is a nice catch. Eric Thomas out of Troy. He's barely off the plane. He got added to the roster last night.
I don't think he has a hotel room key yet, but he's got a reception.
Eric Thomas and Benny Fowler met with Terry Robisky for about an hour last night after they got there. And he said he had a few routes for him, and he would give him an extra signal in when he thought the ball might come in their direction. Eric Thomas caught the signal and caught the ball, but that's a pretty nice throw by Stephen Morris, too.
Thomas, first team All-Sun back this past season. And that That's Ryan Hewitt, the fullback out of Stanford. Stephen Morris, the quarterback right now. We're watching for his college football at Miami. Really created a lot of excitement, DJ, with the way he completed his junior season. Went 139 passes in a row without a pick. In that time, also threw 11 touchdowns. Injured foot this past season. Decent production, but not tremendous like many had hoped.
You just hoped he was going to take that next step. And ironically, on the other sideline tonight is Jed Fish, the offensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who was his offensive coordinator at the University of Miami. So there's been some changes there, coaching-wise. But, you know, with the injury and just some of the inconsistency, you finish up this year maybe a little disappointed in what you saw from Stephen Morris.
Benny Fowler out of Michigan State with the reception there, Charles. He led Michigan State receiving yards and touchdowns this past fall.
So how about that? Both guys who get the call in last night have caught passes.
Fresh legs.
Fresh legs. Somewhere Jeff Janis, the Saginaw Valley guy. I've been here all week. Where's mine?
Play action to Llewellyn. And Morris to Benny Fowler again. Nice catch by Fowler. Good enough for a North team first down. So, DJ, I think you were sprinting from the field up here when we started to talk about the quarterbacks, and really all of these quarterbacks, Stephen Morris, Taj Boyd, Derek Carr, all chasing a trio of juniors right now. Go ahead and go 1, 2, 3 with these juniors. Johnny Football, Teddy Bridgewater, Blake Bortles. Who's 1, who's 2, who's 3?
It's going to be different depending on who you talk to, but my personal choice, look, I gave Manziel and Bridgewater almost an identical grade, and I ended up putting Manziel over him because of the special things he can do as a playmaker. But I also thought he was capable of running inside the pocket. As we watch D Ford again, he was flying all over this field.
Nice job by Llewellyn breaking the tackle. Because that play looked like it was done.
So I have Manziel, and then I'll have Bridgewater too. I love the toughness of Bridgewater. He stands in the pocket, pressure in his face. He doesn't flinch. He's accurate. There's a lot of things to watch. And then finally, when you talk about the third guy for me, it's Bortles. And there's a little bit of a gap between those first two, Paul.
And I want to hear more, DJ, but that's going to happen in the fourth quarter. You got saved by the clock there. You can take a breath and exhale. We are headed to the final quarter of the Reese's Senior Bowl. We do so with the South team on top, 20-3.
We could say a lot about the most track-tested IS ever, but the truth is, we don't have to. The experts have spoken. Now, it's your move.
Pizza Hut wants sent a pizza into space. Space, people! But that's nothing, because Pizza Hut just changed the pizza universe as we know it with our all-new blow-your-mind hand-tossed pizza. For a limited time, try one for just $10. We guarantee you'll love it or your next pizza's on us. Pizza Hut, make it great.
Can we get a little help?
Focus, fellas.
We've got Pepsi.
What if we just take like 15 minutes?
Halfway through the game?
They got Pepsi. So what do we call that?
Halftime.
I like halftime.
Even the first halftime wasn't halftime without Pepsi. This halftime, catch Bruno Mars live. Brought to you by who else? Pepsi.
I'm Lion, the king of the jungle.
He's so cute. Isn't he, Papa? Papa?
Ah, c'est Mabagit, c'est Baba.
We all have a Disney side. And the best place to show it is Disney Parks. So come to the place where the entire family can laugh, let loose, and play together. Disney Parks. Come on, show your Disney side.
Preparation, dedication, or something that can't be defined. It doesn't matter what makes them perform. When NFL hopefuls are on the clock, it just matters that they do. NFL Network is there with them. Live and exclusive coverage from the Scouting Combine. Live starting February 22nd, only on NFL Network.
What is is a picture-perfect afternoon, early evening for football here in Mobile, Alabama. 3 quarters in the books. We head to the 4th quarter with the South team leading 20-3. Welcome back to the broadcast booth. Paul Burmeister, Charles Davis, Daniel Jeremiah. Falcons general manager Thomas Dimitrov told us on Tuesday, this week is great because a 7th-round pick can play so well. He works his way into 4th, 5th round conversation, maybe even 3rd round. That's the kind of improvement a player can make. Who's jumped out today to you?
I look at Crockett Gilmore, the tight end from Colorado State, a late add to this football game. He's got almost a handful of catches. He's made plays running after the catch. He's been solid as a blocker, which we knew watching tape coming into this week. So somebody like that, what an opportunity for him from Colorado State to get out here with a bunch of BCS level guys and get after him the way he did today.
He went to Colorado State as a tight end, moved to defensive end for a season, then back to tight end. He scored the first touchdown here today. It was a touchdown toss from Derek Carr. And there's an interception. That's the man you're used to seeing make a big play. Chris Davis out of Auburn. You remember him, returned the missed field goal against Alabama for a touchdown. And now he has an interception here in the Senior Bowl. So DJ goes with Crockett Gilmore, and it's all about learning all about the different names here. One name right now, somebody who stood out to you, DJ. I'm sorry, Charles. What do you like?
Well, even before we get to that, Chris Davis, you kept your promise. We talked about it in pregame. Got 15 passes broken up for the year, 0 interceptions. I was teasing him.
There we go.
And he said I'm going to have to get one today. He did it. Congratulations to him. For me, it's not so much who stood out. Here's what I would love to see in the 4th quarter, though. I would love to see D. Ford going against Zach Martin in pass rush the entire 4th quarter. Because it's a lot like, let me see where we go after this play.
That was David Fales to Jalen Saunders. A couple of touchdowns in the Sugar Bowl win over Alabama. And barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Christian Kirksey out of Iowa. Nice job there.
Finish my thought after we watch this interception again. There's Chris Davis. Look how he's cluing inside. Did you see that, guys? His eyes were on the receiver and the quarterback at the same time. He saw the throw in front of him, broke on it, makes the play, gets his first interception of the season for him in his final game as a quote-unquote collegiate/pro.
How about the end of his season, though? So he has the big kick return, or the big, catches the field goal, returns it for a touchdown to beat Alabama. I go to the national championship game. He ends up allowing the game-winning touchdown to Kelvin Benjamin. So you talk about going from the highest of highs all the way to the lowest of lows in a brief time.
Talaferro not going to make it out of the backfield there. And the North defense stepping up there, led by Jonathan Brown out of Illinois. 119 tackles this past fall. And one there on Talaferro in the backfield.
But back to my wish, I would love to see Martin and Ford matched up more. I go back to 1984, okay? I mean, DJ, where were you, like 2 or 3 then, right?
No, I was 7. All
right,
I was a mean T-ball player at that age.
So I was old at that point. But the 84 Olympic trials in basketball, any player who got hot on offense, you know what Bob Knight did? He put Michael Jordan on him. He said, okay, if you're so good on offense, let's test your offense. The way D. Ford has played today, I would love to have Zach Martin test that pass rush ability.
Zach Martin likely a first-round pick at tackle. There's David Fales working deep, and that's picked off. Back-to-back possessions ending in interceptions. And that's Nevin Lawson out of Utah State. Nice job last week at the East-West game. And a pick here tonight.
He had a touchdown, right? Last week, didn't he have a scoop and score touchdown last week at the East-West? But look at Aaron Donald get off the ball here and get some pressure right up the middle. 97, hits Fales, affects the throw just a little bit. And then Lawson playing the football. That's what you want to see from these corners. We saw that dropped interception from Lewis earlier. That's a heck of a catch.
And what was he not? He wasn't handsy with the receiver on that play.
No flag.
No flag. Well done by Nevin Lawson.
Early in the 4th quarter, South team continues to lead by 17.
This is the age of knowing what you're made of. Why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. Ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
Excuse me for a second.
Yeah. Can you believe this guy? He could be at the macaroni grill right now, enjoying course after course of Italian cuisine. Instead, his date is poking around his medicine cabinet.
The 4-course chef's tasty menu. Uncork the night.
Jolly Rancher and Twizzlers Bites are so soft, chewy, and filled with their fruity selves. They think this world isn't big enough for the both of them. But we assure you, it is. Bites. little greatness.
Every inch, every minute, every second, we chip away. With an available eco-diesel engine and a best-in-class 30 mpg highway and 730-mile driving range. For all the times you dreamed of running away from home, now you can, with enough fuel to get back. This is the new 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It is the best of what we're made of.
Well-qualified lessees can lease the 2014 Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4 for $359 a month.
Coming up tonight on NFL Total Access, our minds are sort of in two places at once.
Yeah, here and home.
No, Alabama for the Senior Bowl and New Jersey for the Super Bowl.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern.
Welcome back to the 2014 Reese's Senior Bowl. All the NFL hopefuls put their draft prospects on the line next month when they're put to the test of the 2014 NFL Scouting Combine. Our live coverage begins Saturday, February 22nd, only right here on NFL Network. It's a road we know well, and Gus Bradley does too. The February trip to Indianapolis, spend a week there getting to know all the prospects, and what a head start he got this week. As Thomas Dimitroff said, getting to smell the picks of all the players. Get up that close to him. And that's David Llewellyn out of Toledo, finding his way just across the 45-yard line.
I'd always heard that from, friends in the scouting community. We talk about smelling somebody's breath, but apparently they go the extra mile with Thomas Dimitroff in Atlanta.
Well, it makes sense. You think about how Thomas and Scott Pioli started in the business. I mean, they were grounds crew with the Cleveland Browns, lining fields and repairing things and working their way up through the ranks. And now they're reunited again in Atlanta with Scott Pioli being hired as assistant GM to Thomas Dimitroff.
Stephen Morris on the old school give up the middle to his fullback Ryan Hewitt, and that's close to a first down. Going to bring up 3rd down and about a yard. And DJ, I think you were on the field when we were talking about wide receivers, and I mentioned that you told me earlier in the week, and we talked about it during one of our recap shows, 9 of your 10 top wide receivers in this class are juniors, and there's Thomas Dimitroff, the general manager of the Falcons, but 9 out of 10, only 1 senior rated that high, and it's Jordan Matthews out of Vandy.
Yeah, there's juniors or even redshirt sophomores that are draft eligible decide to come out. I mean, it's a loaded group. If you want a pass catcher and you have a preference for a speed guy or a size guy or undersized quick guy, you can get anything you want in this one. And when you look right at the very top, it's Sammy Watkins for me from Clemson. He gives you everything. Then you got the tall trees with Mike Evans from A&M and Benjamin from Florida State, 6'5 plus red zone guys. You got Marquise Lee, had a little bit of a down year at USC, but he's kind of a wild card. And then a whole host of others. We talk about Devontae Adams from Fresno State, been catching all these Derek Carr passes. You got the 2 kids at LSU that can both play. It is a loaded group. I can go on and on. Paul Richardson at Colorado, I know you've seen, Charles. So if you want a receiver, you're a team in need of some speed or a playmaker, you can find him in this draft.
Would you call wide receiver the strength on offense of this draft class?
I think it is. I think the tackle group is really good, but and the quarterback has some depth. But I think when you look at that group of underclass receivers, I think you put that right at the very top.
And I think the guy who will emerge surprise is the wrong word, but I think a guy who people will like better as we get deeper into the process is going to be Marquise Lee. Because you mentioned he had a little bit of a down year, he was dinged up, and had quarterbacking issues for a decent part of the season before they got that rectified with Cody Kessler. And I just think he's a guy who's just dynamic as heck for the football.
Number 82 is Jeff Janis, led Division II in receiving yards out of Saginaw Valley State. That time he picked up 6. And I look out there and
Charles is clapping right now, Paul, because this guy Janis, he's been begging for him to get a catch.
I just didn't think it was fair that the guys who came in last night, and Benny Fowler and Eric Thomas, caught footballs that Jeff Janis hadn't. So we're good now. We're all even now. So anyway, sorry, Paul.
That's 3rd down now, and I'm looking out there. I see the golden helmet out there. Zach Martin, the left tackle.
They got him in at guard now.
And Stephen Morris with a good decision there, landed off, picking up the 1st down. So he's playing guard right now. He's played some left tackle. He's being considered as a right tackle as well. I start with the question, is he worth the 1st-round pick as a left tackle right now?
I think he is. I think he can definitely play left tackle. When you stack him up with the rest of this group, I think he does belong in that middle to late 1st round. I think he can play left tackle, but there are some people that believe you slide him inside to guard, you'll get a real dominant player, a Marshall Yonda type while I was around in Baltimore, who can really change the game from inside. So it's going to depend on the preference of the team, but I do believe he can play left tackle at the next level.
Stephen Morse looking deep to his left side. That's Benny Fowler, and that's an underthrown pass. Falling incomplete, and the coverage provided by one of these many long arm corners we've been talking about all week. Out of Liberty, that's Walt Aikens.
And Walt Aikens, I was talking to a personnel buddy and said he thought he was the best corner down here. You know, from Liberty, it's a big step up in competition. He answered the bell, a big physical press corner.
Is he that good?
I didn't think he was at the very top. Ironically, to me, the best corner down here was Aaron Colvin, who unfortunately suffered an injury. But, you know, I thought Aikens, he handled himself very well here.
Aaron Colvin from Oklahoma has the ability to swing back to safety, also has that in his background, which I think is important in today's game.
David Fluellen, the sailback out of Toledo, two-time first-team All-MAC, picks up 6 yards, and he's brought down by Christian Jones out of Florida State.
Guys, you know who's having a really good game is Ryan Hewitt.
Yes.
From Stanford. Caught the ball well, saw him as a lead blocker. He's a roster saver, which has a lot of value when you get in those draft meetings because he saves you a roster spot. He can play tight end, he can play fullback. Those guys have value when you talk about that 5th round area. And I was asking a buddy who he liked interviewing this week, who's been interesting to talk to. He said, I talked to Ryan Hewitt, and the subject matter was biofuels.
Stanford guy.
What he started talking about, I said, a little over my head.
Penalty marker down, and that one incomplete.
There's your guy Hewitt trying to throw the ball to him, swinging it out of the backfield into the flat. That Y spider banana route that they love to run down.
Offside. Defense number 42. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
And some teams don't use a fullback anymore, and there are others who swear by them. I think about Andy Reid in Kansas City. He will always have a fullback. I think last year in the offseason they acquired a veteran, Sherman at fullback. They also drafted a fullback. So being phased out by some teams, but there are certain offensive coaches who will always have room for a fullback like that.
And some teams, they don't have a fullback on their roster. They get in those goal line situations. You see them put a defensive lineman in there, try and be creative. But that's why I like a guy like Hewitt, because you can play him at tight end. And in those situations where you don't necessarily use a fullback all that often, but if you need one, he could slide in there and do it.
A David Johnson type from Pittsburgh, from the Steelers, a true tight end who can swing back into the fullback, be your lead blocker, the whole deal. The carries that Hewitt has had today, much more satisfying than his last carry in the Rose Bowl against Michigan State. Remember, they handed it to him inside on that short 4th down play, and he was met in the hole by the linebacker from Michigan State and stuffed. So I think he likes these carries a little bit better.
Still time for that offensive explosion you were calling for.
I know, there's still plenty of time. Only halfway through the 4th quarter. Could happen right here. D Ford giving chase. Already has 2 sacks. Nice job by Stephen Morse.
You notice every time they boot or roll out, they're going away from D Ford.
All right, D Ford in on the play there. He's broken up a pass. Has a couple of sacks already, just like he did in the BCS title game. Is he worth a 1st-round pick to you, DJ?
I still think of him more in that 2nd-round area. I mean, the one thing he does, he gives you that pass rush. I think the 3-4 teams are going to love him. But this is, and maybe in last year's draft, he would have been a 1st-round pick. But I just think the overall depth in this class probably pushes him to the top of the 2nd round. But I think we've got a few months for all that stuff to sort out.
What's interesting to me is watching D Ford do his thing like this. Do you compare him to a Jarvis Jones who did go in the 1st round last year out of Georgia, went to the Pittsburgh Steelers?
He's got more juice than Jarvis Jones. He's got more speed.
James White inside the 10, inside the 5-yard line. Goes the tailback out of Wisconsin. Run out by Quay Cox. 17-yard gain, and we just might be seeing the beginning of that offensive explosion, guys.
I like your optimism, Paul.
It could happen.
I like the run even better, though. How about the hole that got chopped in the defensive front? And watch James White find it and turn to more. D Ford chasing from the backside. Look at the straight arm there. Nah, that was a Florida State guy pushed out of the way. Who was that? Was that Christian Jones, the linebacker? I'm not sure, but that was a Florida State helmet that took the straight arm.
James White now 9 carries, 60 yards. Almost a 7-yard per attempt average. And there's White trying to punch it into the end zone. 17-yard run got him down there. It looks like he got right to the 1-yard line. James White's offensive teammate at Wisconsin, Jared Aberderis, had a nice week as well down here. Had to leave late in the week. But plenty of Badger talent. We see Pedersen as tight end also in there. Yeah, on 2nd goal from the 1.
Aberderis was called the best route runner on his squad. Best in the classroom, too, with the wide receiver group.
13th play of the drive coming up. The tailback remains James White. Toss sweep to White. If he gets away with that stiff arm, he'll go in. Touchdown, James White.
Almost a great play by Chris Smith from Arkansas there. In position to make the play, didn't get sucked inside. Stiff arms is a good tool for these running backs, Charles.
You always hear about it being a lost art, but when you see it executed well, you see the value that you just talked about. He had it on 2 plays on this drive. Look at that one there. Just enough to get Chris Smith off of him, and then he wins the sprint to the end zone. The block downfield, there's Eric Thomas staying with his block on the corner, not allowing the corner to get involved in the play.
Would have been a nice picture for Brett Bielema to have that stiff arm. Chris Smith, his former Arkansas Razorback, and James White, man he recruited to play at Wisconsin. We have a touchdown for the North team. It's 20-10 South on top, a little over 6 minutes left.
Jolly Rancher and Twizzlers Bites are so soft, chewy, and filled with their fruity selves. They think this world isn't big enough for the both of them. But we assure you, it is. Bites, little greatness.
The Burger King Original Chicken Sandwich can't get better, but it can get spicier. Introducing the new Spicy Chicken Sandwich. The original you love just got spicy. Now part of the 2 for $5 deal, only at Burger King, where taste is king.
The NFL Honors. Find out who will take home the NFL's most prestigious awards. And the 2014 Hall of Fame class is revealed. The NFL Honors. Saturday, February 1st at 8 on Fox.
You got the hearts of lions. Good things, bad things, it doesn't matter. That's who you are. That's what carries us from here to where we're going. And everybody's talking about what we couldn't do and what we wouldn't do and what we shouldn't do, right? You did it week after week, day after day. No matter what somebody said about you or us, it doesn't matter what they say.
Find your look at NFLshop.com.
It's about football.
Oh my gosh.
It's about the events.
This is the best NFL experience I've ever had in my life.
It's about the access.
It's the best. It's the best. This is the rock star style.
It's about the moment. Don't just watch it, live it. Ticket experiences direct from the NFL.
This is amazing.
Visit NFLOnLocation.com.
Broncos fans, your team just won the AFC Championship. And now, direct from NFLshop.com, you can own the Broncos Championship trophy tee and trophy hat. It's the official championship hat and t-shirt worn by players and coaches. Celebration. Don't miss out on this great opportunity. Show your championship pride and own a piece of Broncos history by visiting NFLshop.com now.
Been a perfect chance for all the top seniors in the country to show their draft worth to NFL personnel all week, and a perfect afternoon and evening for football here in Mobile. We've done it here for 64 consecutive years. And inside Ladd Peoples Stadium, next up, David Fales, quarterback out of San Jose State. His team leads by 10. We'll see how they respond to the first touchdown from the North squad. James White out of Wisconsin is the leading rusher in the game with 62 yards, and he has the only touchdown for the North. Got it on a touchdown run moments ago. Solomon Patton, wide receiver from Florida. He was listening to you, DJ. He said, I'm going to bring this out from 7 yards deep.
Good things happen when you do that.
Right? Out to the 27-yard line. Just under 6 minutes left. David Fales will look for his second touchdown pass of the afternoon when we come back to Mobile.
Xbox on.
Xbox, Skype, Derek, you.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance, because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that home insurance can keep your stuff covered even when it's not at home? Or that collisions with wildlife on the road may not be covered. And what if you didn't know you could be liable for any accidents on your property? The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Fruit with a cool finish. Fruit on one side, cool on the other. Icebreakers Duo, a fruity cool way to break the ice.
Step up to the plate with new $9.99 steak plates from Outback. For a limited time, choose from 5 of our award-winning steaks, like our bloomin' sirloin, our sirloin with wild mushroom sauce, or the Parmesan crusted sirloin. 5 steaks, each for under $10. That's no rules, just right.
Let's go primetime, the Super Bowl special.
Deion Sanders ranks the top 21 performances of the 2013 NFL season.
He is the greatest of all time.
Let's go primetime, Super Bowl special, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network.
This is 2014 Senior Bowl. 5:57 left in the fourth quarter. The North team has its first touchdown. James White touchdown run. The South on top by 10. There's your quarterback David Fales out of San Jose State. His tailback is Jarek McKinnon. Played some quarterback and running back this past season at Georgia Southern. And Fales right now 3 out of 4. Had the touchdown pass to Norwood out of Alabama in the first half. And a lot of questions about, let's face it, his arm strength. You can compliment his production, his toughness, his smarts, and his numbers speak to that at San Jose State the last couple of seasons. Everyone wanted to see the arm down here this week, and so far mixed reviews.
But I think they like everything else so much about him that those teams that don't place a premium on the long ball and driving it downfield a lot will like a lot about what David Fales does. You know, a lot of it depends on your system and what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get those big shots more often, then he's probably not the guy you're looking for. You see Dante Johnson make a play there, another one of those long corners that we've talked about all week here at the Senior Bowl. Another safety who's made the transition over. The teams are really seeking, trying to get more heat on the wide receivers downfield. Those bigger, stronger receivers, they're starting to take over the game.
And Fales certainly finished his senior season strong, throwing for 547 yards, 6 touchdowns, and no picks as he outdueled Derek Carr. In the final game there, the win over Fresno State. Plants and fires, second completion to Norwood. The first one went for a touchdown. I liked how Norwood went behind him to get that one, accelerated up the field, brought down eventually by Christian Kirksey out of Iowa, gain of 11.
Nice pitch and catch, and a good job by Billy Turner, North Dakota State at right tackle, working against the All-American from Stanford, Trent Murphy, and keeping him well away from the passer on his pass rush.
Number 87, you see there, Jordan Matthews, the leading receiver in the history of the Southeastern Conference. And as you just heard Daniel Jeremiah talking, the only wide receiver, the only senior wide receiver listed in his top 10 receivers at this early point of the evaluation of all the talent heading into the 2014 draft. Fales with a nice pocket to Crockett Gilmore, the tight end out of Colorado State. He was first team All-Mountain West Conference in the fall. Scored the first touchdown here tonight. And tackled that time by Justin Anderson after a gain of 10.
I'm not sure that a player's done more to help himself in just the game itself than Crockett Gilmore has tonight. I think he had a good week of practice after getting the promotion from the East-West game. But I think that things have really jumped up here in the game. I think the last practice we saw, he was really impressive in the red zone passing. Remember, Paul? A couple of touchdown catches in the red zone. He even dunked one over the goalpost, and it's carried over to the game.
That's why I remember he caught that one. Went up and dunked it easily. Dunked it. This is Antonio Andrews out of Western Kentucky. Led the nation in all-purpose yards in each of the last 2 seasons, over 2,000 rushing and receiving, 2012 and 2013.
He's one of my favorites in this game, and I really want to see him get a good shot at the next level. Size will be a question mark for him, but his production was just off the charts at Western Kentucky, and he played big in the bigger games against those big-name opponents that Western Kentucky would take on every year.
David Fales, only 2 seasons at San Jose State, 68% completion percentage, over 8,300 yards, and a nice little touchdown to interception ratio of 3-1. Looking for a touchdown here to Jordan Matthews. Can't throw that one any better, and a nice catch by the man who has more receiving yards than every receiver in the history of the Southeastern Conference. Coverage provided by Pierre Desir, but that's Fales to Matthews for a gain of 33.
How about that look back into the camera afterwards by Jordan Matthews? You know what that look said to me, Paul? that I understand how to play receiver. I understand how to run routes. See how he got stacked? He stacked Pierre Desir, meaning he got in front of him and got Desir on his back, and then faded to the sideline where he knew the throw would be, and completed the play.
3,759 receiving yards in college and a 33-yard gain there. Nice little jump cut by Antonio Andrews to avoid the loss. No surprise from a man who rushed for over both his junior and senior seasons. He gets 5 right there. Brought down by Michael Sam out of Missouri. Michael Sam, one of the many examples here, Charles, of guys who were terrific in college. His head coach, Gary Pinkel, said he had a dramatic leap from being an all-conference caliber player to a consensus All-American at Missouri last year, leading the SEC in sacks and tackles for loss. But is he a defensive end? Is he a linebacker? How high of a pick is he worth? It's all part of the process. And you cited that dramatic. But I try and quantify it a little bit. Please do. This year is the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. He had 11.5 sacks. Prior to that year, combined, 3 years before, 9.5 sacks. That's a dramatic leap. Yes, it is. So that tells you, I mean, I talked with Coach Pinkel at the Cotton Bowl, and he said, I've got to sit down and talk with him and say, okay, what was it? He said, it might not be anything super dramatic. It might just be the light bulb went off. Coach, I realized it was my senior year, and I had to up my game. You know, who knows? Big plays and big games, too, Charles. Touchdown against Georgia, 3 sacks against Florida, 3 tackles for loss, South Carolina. Played big all season. David fails to Norwood. This is the double pass, looking back to Andrews. And that one's intercepted in the end zone out of Lindenwood College. Pierre Desir, the small college defensive player of the year, coming up with a pick in the end zone. And what makes this play is that Pierre Desir is not fooled on the backside. See, when the flow goes away, he stays at home on the backside, reads it, and then he sees and feels the receiver coming out of the backfield, and Andrews stays in the proper spot and then goes up and catches the football. You know, Thursday is the day where you go red zone, you practice your specialty plays, your deceptives, your fakes, whatever you want to call them, your trick plays. We saw that practiced on Thursday. Pierre Desir must have been in the same stadium. Lindenwood is in St. Louis. St. Louis to Mobile, and we'll see how high a pick he's worth in the NFL draft. Stephen Morris to Pedersen out of Wisconsin. Nice job of putting his head down. Brought down by Adrian Hubbard out of Alabama. That's a gain of 11. 2-minute warning here in the Reese's Senior Bowl. The South team in control, 20-10.
Launches it for the end zone. Jerry Rice!
The most prolific receiver in NFL history.
I get chills of knowing how great he was.
Whose relentless drive.
If you didn't live to Jerry's standard, you weren't a 49er.
Made him the greatest of all time.
I had that hunger. If he saw the ball up in the air, he was going to go get it. He changed the way people played that position.
He's the baddest man to catch a football, bar none.
Jerry Rice, A Football Life, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network.
KFC Go Cup. I got a piece of the new extra crispy boneless chicken in there with some wedges. It's only $2.49. That's not wrecking my budget. The money that I don't spend on Go Cups, I can spend on ladies. Let's go for an evening stroll.
Start the engine and shift through all 8 speeds of a transmission connected to more standard horsepower than its German competitors. And that is the moment driving the Lexus GS will shift your perception. This is the pursuit of perfection.
The 2014 Senior Bowl is presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter.
It is now time to announce today's Reese's MVP, and I guess it's no secret when we just show him right there. D. Ford, outside linebacker / defensive end out of Auburn. 2 sacks, 1 pass defended, 3 pressures all over the field, and it was very nice of him to play well because before the game, DJ and Charles told you how well he was going to play.
You know, I love when these young men listen, you know?
right?
It's an endearing trait.
Last defensive MVP of this game ended up being a first-round pick. Brandon Graham out of Michigan was a first-round selection by the Philadelphia Eagles. That's Pedersen, tight end out of Wisconsin. Nice pass there by Stephen Morris. So we just announced that Dee Ford is the MVP. And we're eventually going to get to some pictures that show you how well he played.
They're running a little bit of a hurry up now. It makes it tough for us to get there. And isn't it interesting? What did we say? What did we say early in the third quarter or late in the first half? The tight ends. Can you get the tight ends involved?
And here's Dee Ford. It started early. Might have got a little head start on that. Got the sack on Logan Thomas, and here he comes again from the backside. Big first quarter for Dee Ford. Knocked down the pass to Stephen Morris. And he has been in pursuits all afternoon long. Really no surprise if you watched him in the BCS title game. He had 2 sacks against Florida State. And living up to the hype this week, he had a tremendous week of practice and stepped it up here today. Dee Ford is your Reese's MVP. Late penalty markers in is Stephen Morris. Look to Campanaro, the wide receiver out of Wake Forest. Telvin Smith out of Florida State going to be guilty of pass interference here.
Pass interference. Defense, number 22. The ball is placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic first down. Hey.
Well, as this half has gone on, the tight ends and inside receivers have become more prominent for the North squad. We talked about that earlier in the game, that hadn't been a spot they were throwing the football. But Pedersen's got some catches now. They're trying to go inside there to Campanaro.
The game's still in doubt, Charles. North team on the move. Penalty marker comes in.
It's not a good spot for the offense.
And 9 times out of 10, that's holding, right?
Yeah, because there wasn't roughing the passer.
Holding, offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty, first down.
What? Zach Martin? What?
He did something wrong.
What? No. They got to give that to someone else.
Hard to miss him out there, though, with the shiny gold helmet.
And I think, guess who I believe he was trying to block when the penalty was created?
Mr. MVP himself?
Dee Ford. That's what I was looking for. As this game went on, the possibility there that's who the penalty was against.
Stephen Morris right now 8 out of 15, 81 yards, 0 touchdowns and 1 pick. Sets up the screen to James White out of Wisconsin. And he goes right down. I've been calling this name a whole lot. Telvin Smith, Florida State.
Yeah, he just atoned for the penalty, didn't he? Came back, didn't drop his head after the pass interference, and came back and made another big play today. He's been all over the field, Paul. Good range.
Only 1 season as a starter at Florida State. Earned 2nd team All-ACC. Active behind the line of scrimmage, though. 29 career tackles for loss. All right, let you know the Reese's player of the game was Dee Ford. Time now to check out the Reese's player, or the play of the day. This is David Fales, quarterback out of San Jose State. Nothing there. Look at Kevin Norwood, wide open. Touchdown, South Team. That's the Reese's play of the day.
Well done. Got good help from Morgan Moses, the left tackle from Virginia. Excellent pass protection, allowed Fales extra time to flush out of the pocket. Norwood found his way open. And there was the Reese's play of the day. There's Mike Smith. Looking forward to better days with the Atlanta Falcons. He's had a heck of a run there as a head coach.
To reflect second down.
Tough year this year, but how about the way the Jacksonville Jaguars finished after a very difficult start under Gus Bradley? Optimism abounds in Jacksonville. You know, we teased him when he was on our set earlier this week. I know I was teasing the heck out about quarterback. We're going to talk about quarterbacks here. About quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, he laughed and deflected that conversation every time.
He dodged it well, and I believe there's another Seminole, Christian Jones, making the tackle after a gain of 5, the completion to Pedersen. And timeout called by the North team. Jones out of Florida State, 7 tackles against Auburn in that BCS title game, and just like his teammate, Telvin Smith, 2nd team All-ACC. Must have been some pretty good linebackers in the ACC if these Seminoles were second team.
Big time, and we see Christian Jones, who's played inside and outside linebacker. Telvin Smith is an outside linebacker, but built like a strong safety. You know, Jeremiah had mentioned the possibility of Telvin Smith maybe swinging back to safety in the NFL. And the type I see him like is a Deion Bailey, coming out of USC, who was declared for the draft this year, who played linebackers first 2 years at USC, then moved to safety, but always had the body type to be a safety.
Tailback to the left of Morris is the leading rusher today. James White, 11 carries, 62 yards and a touchdown. Morris firing, and that one is picked off. And another man we talked about quite a bit, Keith McGill, the big corner out of Utah. And that's going to do it. The South team up by 10. The interception by McGill as the dagger.
Now watch D Ford on the pass rush and watch how many people get involved with trying to keep him away from the quarterback. There's Martin. There's a chip by James White. Here comes the guard coming over to keep him away from Morris. Plenty of time, but the receiver falls down, Benny Fowler out of Michigan State. So he's not there at the end of the play, and Keith McGill in coverage gets the interception. So another player we talked about at the top of our broadcast is someone we were interested in watching, who gives us a big play to discuss before we go off air.
Keith McGill, only one interception in 3 years at Utah. Charles comes up with a pick there. Chris Davis out of Auburn, no picks this last year, and he had an interception for the South team earlier in the second half.
And Paul, do you hear the chant a little bit in the background? Here is Senior Bowl. You still hear an SEC chant at the end of the ball game.
Got to make a guy who went to Tennessee feel a little bit good, right?
That's just how it is in this part of the country. And the celebration has begun.
And as
the South team,
the seconds tick away, the touchdowns coming for the South team. Crockett Gilmore, early in the first quarter, touchdown reception from Derek Carr. Kevin Norwood, it was the Reese's play of the day, touchdown reception from David Fales out of San Jose State. And that was all the South team needed, because led by D Ford, they were playing some defense on the south side of the ball for Gus Bradley and the Jaguars coaches. We'll see if that eventually makes their way, not to Keith McGill, to Gus Bradley. Okay. The head coach, Mike Smith, let me get out of the way. I think that only caught half of them.
Yeah, if I were a coach, I'd have to have a discussion with everyone prior to.
He came out pretty unscathed on that.
Yeah, let's not do it.
And time now to get to our Reese's MVP interview. That means our Daniel Jeremiah has caught up with D Ford.
D, congratulations, man. Congratulations on the MVP, buddy. You're the MVP of the game.
Appreciate it.
Tell us how you felt everything went out there for you today.
Everything went well. Like I said, man, I come out here to have fun and do what we do. The South squad came together, and that's all I was worried about. The accolades and all that to take care of itself. We had a great time out here tonight.
Now, everybody says, we talk about a player in an all-star game environment, the week of practice in the game tonight.
Yeah.
You want to be able to make a statement as a player. What type of statement you think you made to the 32 teams this week?
I think I made a statement that I can be a complete player, on and off the field. They were more in love with my intangibles more than what they knew I could do on the field.
Congratulations, buddy.
Appreciate it, baby.
All right, DJ, D Ford, thank you very much. That's going to do it for the 2014 Reese's Senior Bowl. Final score, the South team wins 20-10. You just saw the Reese's MVP, D Ford. Up next, it's NFL Total Access presented by McDonald's. For all of us here in Mobile, I'm Paul Burmeister. Thanks for spending time with us. NFL Total Access begins right now.